folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
This report is sponsored by the Milwaukee Boat Show at State Fair Park.
Don't miss the Milwaukee Boat Show, January 17 through 26, State Fair Park. See over 300 boats from more than 80 manufacturers. Get that boat and get that deal.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It is 3 o'clock. I'm Julia Fellow. This is Wisconsin's afternoon news for Wednesday, January 22nd. Your top story, from bitter cold to snow.
I'm Sandy Max. In for John Mercure, fiscal concerns at UW-Madison.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we've got a bunch of accidents out there right now. First of all, southbound 43 in Ozaukee County, just north of Highway H. We got the right lane blocked with a crash there. In Jefferson County, we've got westbound 94 with an accident just past that ramp from that Highway F, the Jefferson County Highway F. Left shoulder is blocked there. We've got another accident, eastbound 94, that's blocking off the Moreland on-ramp, so watch out for that. Emergency crews on the scene with that. A little bit further east, right around Sunny Slope Road, we've got another crash off on the right shoulder. And definitely seeing some slowing heading through the Marquette, or actually westbound on 94, heading through the Stadium interchange. That is just your general buildup of volume. Things are going to be slow pretty much everywhere. Oh, another accident just popped up. 4394 northbound, just past Holt Avenue. The left shoulder blocked there. So please take it easy this afternoon. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Busy, Debbie, thank you. Tonight, the snow comes to an end. It will be clear, a low of 13. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. In the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the bitter cold slowly working its way out of southeast Wisconsin. Now comes a chance for some snow showers. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Tyler Moore.
It comes along that warm front. Overall for today, we're looking at under an inch of snowfall. The models keep some of that light snowfall activity going for today. It will be a very light, fluffy snow, so it's going to blow around pretty easily with those gusty winds out of the southwest, but enough to cause a couple slippery spots as our high temperatures hit the 20s for today.
Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast is coming up in about 10 minutes.
Removing the chief diversity officer at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Dr. LeVar Charleston is leaving his role as Vice Chancellor for Inclusive Excellence amid concerns for the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Educational Achievement's financial operations and fiscal judgments. He's led the division for 3 years. Charleston remains an employee at the university, returning to his previous teaching position. Provost Charles Isabel will serve as acting director until an interim director is appointed. The university says diversity events, programs, and services will continue, and there will be no direct impact on students in diversity programs.
Governor Tony Evers is laying out his plan for Wisconsin at 7 o'clock tonight during his annual State of the State.
The governor is expected to lay out the state's policy priorities for the next year, as well as plans to address pressing issues in Wisconsin. Proposals will include lowering out-of-pocket costs for Wisconsin families, supporting the state public education system, the new state Office of Violence Prevention, and addressing the state's looming child care crisis. The governor has already said he will propose allowing Wisconsin citizens to initiate referendums in his upcoming budget speech in February. Republicans have said that plan will be dead on arrival. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The White House has confirmed that all federal staff working on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs will be put on paid leave by the end of the day today. A response from Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
When they talk about creating a more efficient workplace, that is what DEI hires essentially do. These people that are in these positions are trying to create an environment where the most efficient people for the job are hired.
This comes after President Trump issued an executive order yesterday to end DEI programs, calling them, quote, radical and wasteful, end quote.
ABC News confirmed that the incoming Trump administration has told federal health agencies they must pause their communications with the public for now.
Officials leading the nation's federal health agencies, including the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Food and Drug Administration, are being told to hit pause on their communications with the public. That's according to two sources who say the directive came from the incoming administration. They say it's not clear how long the pause will be in effect or whether urgent health information like disease outbreaks would be exempt. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been picked to become the next health secretary under Trump, although many senators, including some Republicans, say they have concerns about his views on vaccines. A confirmation hearing for Kennedy has not been scheduled. Ann Flaherty, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up, a water skiing squirrel with an important message.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 3:05.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Go with the Bowtie brand and do it at Griffin Chevrolet. Griffin Chevrolet is going to take great care of you. The most recent car we bought was bought at Griffin Chevrolet. It's a black Chevy Blazer. It's sweet. It's smooth. It's a beautiful ride. And right now, they've got everything in stock that you could possibly want. More than 70 vehicles on the lot, ready to be delivered. Find fresh selection at Griffin Chevrolet today. For great used cars and capable SUVs, budget vehicles, see Griffin Chevy. It's right there in the Metro Auto Mall. Ask about the GM certified model starting at under $20,000. It's a great selection, and it's great service at the same time. Right now, check this out, the tire special. At Griffin Chevrolet, for just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires with free tire repair and lifetime tire rotation. Cannot be combined with any other tire offers. Tires must be mounted, balanced, and installed at Griffin Chevrolet. See Service Advisor for details. The service department is top tier. It's best service. It's best selection. It's where I shop. It's Griffin Chevrolet.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucks fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at Bucks.com/tickets. That's Bucks.com/tickets.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:07.
Have you ever seen a squirrel on skis?
Outside of her busy schedule at the Milwaukee Boat Show this week, Twiggy, the world-famous water skiing squirrel, joined Wisconsin's Midday News.
It's an exciting show, all kinds of new things all the time, because you never know what a squirrel's going to do.
Charles Best has traveled the world with Twiggy not only to entertain, but to educate.
Being able to promote water safety in a positive way, that's my whole purpose.
And who makes Twiggy's life vest?
My mom. She made it out of a beer koozie.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Milwaukee Bucks are getting a snow day in New Orleans. The game against the Pelicans tonight is now postponed because of snowy conditions in the Big Easy. Another former Brewer heading to Cooperstown, pitcher CC Sabathia received 342 votes and is one of three members of the Baseball Hall of Fame's 2025 class. During his 3 months in Milwaukee, Sabathia helped lead the team to the postseason in 2008 as the National League wildcard winner, snapping the franchise's 25-year playoff drought. An easy win for the number 10 Marquette men, 76-59 over Seton Hall last night. Next up is Villanova at Fiserv Forum at Friday. And the 18th-ranked Wisconsin men took it down to the wire against UCLA, but would fall just short to the Bruins 85-83 for their first loss since December 10th. The Badgers are off until a Sunday home matchup against Nebraska. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 3:09.
You gotta get to Built Right today. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Built Right furniture, leather, and mattresses. My family just bought a new living room set and a mattress at Built Right. What a great experience. Built Right's extended New Year's sale and $1 million clearance sell-off is on now. It's all about your comfort, your style, your home at Built Right. 4 generations, 97 years strong. 3rd and 4th generation family members on hand in the store along with their amazing team. Thousands of items in stock or custom order at a low sale price. USA made small scale, Ohio Amish made, and real solid wood furniture. Over 48 models of power lift recliners in stock. 60 models of USA made mattresses, including flippable and heavy duty models. Built Right always saves you money. Free in-store design services. Built Right voted best place to shop. Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, closed to be with family. Tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right, just off of 894 at 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, Julia Fellow and Sandy Max.
John's on vacation. Wondering what he's doing right now. I guess we'll see in just a few minutes. Maybe. So good to have you, Sandy.
I'm glad to be back. How are you?
Very good. I'm warming up still.
I know. I finally took off one of the layers of sweaters today.
Yeah. All right, here's the 3 at 3.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's afternoon news.
Number 1, something you may have missed. I did until I saw it this morning in the hours since President Trump was sworn in. At the National Cathedral, Bishop Marianne Edgar Buddy turned directly at the president, sitting in the front row, and said this during the inaugural prayer.
I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here.
The president never looked at her. She called on the president to also consider the impact and fear that was growing in the LGBT community, she said. Trump then took to social media last night calling on her to apologize for that sermon and said, quote, she's a radical left Trump hater. Number 2, Sandy.
It's been 2 weeks since the awful wildfires in Los Angeles. Beyond awful, absolutely devastating. Thousands of people displaced, 27 dead right now in the count. Neighborhoods in ashes. And I've found something appalling, Julia. Authorities have still arrested 8 suspects accused of arsons, setting smaller fires as copycat crimes. And the Los Angeles Police Department chief, Jim McDonnell, said 2 people were arrested on the evening of January 14th. A woman was arrested after allegedly setting multiple piles of trash on fire. And when she was arrested, she said, quote, she enjoyed causing chaos and destruction.
What?
And another suspect, same night, after allegedly setting a fire in a tree, admitted to starting the fire, quote, because he liked the smell of burning leaves.
What?
So it's unfathomable to me. And Bob Duvall, a fire investigator in that area, says, quote, they think it's a perfect time to do it because everybody's tied up at the major fire scenes. There won't be any police and there won't be any firefighters or any security.
Wow. Okay, we got fires in California and a whole bunch of snow out west and the south to us. We have a surprise number 3. Host of Wisconsin's Afternoon News, John Mercure, is on the Sighting Unlimited talk and text line on vacation this week. But, John, you're in the thick of harsh weather in South Carolina.
Oh, ladies, this is crazy. I'm in Hilton Head, and there was 5 inches of snow here yesterday. It's the most snow they've ever gotten. It's insane. Here's the real thing, and they don't have any snow plows. So can you imagine 5 inches of snow, and now it's 10 hours after the snow, and the roads haven't been plowed? It is absolute madness. They have like 2 snow plows in all of South Carolina, I think.
You're living in historic times. Do you still have power?
We do have power. In our subdivision, the lines are all buried, so thankfully for that, the lines are buried, so we do have power. It's crazy, though. Everything is shut down here. There were more things open on Christmas Day than there is today.
Oh my
Everything's locked down. Everybody's paralyzed. Everybody's freaked out. And now, usually, if they get a little snow, and sometimes it's flurries, it's gone right away, it's going to be record cold tonight, so the snow is going to stay around, they think, for 3 or 4 days. The kids are going nuts. There's kids on sleds, which I don't know where the hell they got a sled, but they're on sleds and having fun. It's craziness.
If you text WATCH to our Sighting Unlimited talk and text line, WATCH, 855-616-1620, you can see the photos that John took. John, you look miserable in that photo that you took of yourself.
I was shocked. You don't come in the end of January to a warm city to deal with the snow. You can see that Packer flag, though. Look at that Packer flag flying from my plate, huh?
Yeah, your American flag, of course. I knew that you would have an American flag at your second house.
John, do you even have a shovel in your garage in South Carolina?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. No. I have like a little spade with a tip on the end of it.
If you had a shovel, you could make a mint. You could just go make money around the neighborhood.
Are you with, is your mother-in-law with you?
Yes, she is. My mother-in-law, thank you for asking. My mother-in-law's with us. She lives, half an hour away. We brought her. She's with us. We're here. We're all safe. I went to Walmart last night to pick up a couple things before the storm hit, and I asked the lady checking out, do you have a shovel? And she laughed so hard she almost fell off her chair. Then I said, what about salt? And she said, salt, honey, here's what we have. We have kitty litter, which, by the way, is sold out, and we have salt for the pool, which is really, really, really expensive. So no salt, no shovels, no nothing. Everybody's just hunkered down trying to get through it.
And now the cats have nowhere to go to the bathroom. That's the other story. All right, John Mercure, we will see you Monday. Please be safe.
I will. Thanks, ladies. Have a good show.
Thanks, John. 3:15 on WTMJ. Coming up next, we're going to talk to a correspondent in New Orleans. Bucks have a snow day. Oh my goodness, what's going on there? They haven't had snow in like 15 years, Cindy. They have Mardi Gras beads that they're putting on their tires because they don't have snow tires.
That's clever.
It is clever. You got to get really
decorative.
crafty. Yeah, and you got to think on your toes with this. So we'll have that coming up.
Throughout history, some people have been born into greatness because of their name or family. Others gained greatness because of their actions. On Wisconsin's Morning News, we celebrate everyday heroes, the John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they woke up one morning they'd be saving a life. Everyday Heroes, Thursday at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
It started with a prediction.
Go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Time's ticking on Heiser's Drive into 2025 sales event. The clock is literally running out on remaining 2024 models. We're making room for new rides, which means huge savings just for you. Shop online or race in today and get a new vehicle for way less than expected. With low payments, special financing, and immediate delivery, you'll start 2025 in style without breaking the bank. But hurry, because once they're gone, they're gone. Visit Heiser.com now for all of the details and get ready to roll into the new year with a celebratory deal.
See dealer for complete details.
Just a mess out there. Let's get to our traffic and then weather with Debbie Lazaga.
All right, Julia. Westbound 94, just about 2.5 miles west of Highway F in Jefferson County. Left shoulder is blocked with a crash there. We've got another one on the ramp from Highway 18 to eastbound 94. That ramp continues. Looks like it's still blocked. It might have one lane open, but it's hard to see. So that's going to be causing some problems there. Another crash then at about Sunny Slope Road off on the right shoulder. A couple cars there. We've also got a crash. We had a crash in Ozaukee County on 43 just north of Port Washington. That has been cleared, so that's good news. Things are moving along a little better through there. And then another accident on northbound 4394 at the ramp from Holt Avenue. That has the left shoulder blocked. We are seeing some slick conditions around the area, so you especially to the west, you really want to be extra careful. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Snow gets out of here late tonight. The low will be 13 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. Friday, sunny with a high of 23 degrees. A chance of flurries Saturday with a high of 23. Mostly sunny Sunday with a high of 28 degrees. Right now, it's cloudy and 21 degrees in Milwaukee.
You're as cold as ice.
Your Milwaukee Bucks, directly affected by the historic snowfall right now in Louisiana. They're stuck in New Orleans. Their game against the Pelicans tonight is off. They're supposed to play the Heat tomorrow night at home. What is going to happen? What's going on right now in Louisiana? They don't have the infrastructure like us. They're fighting over who can get a snowplow. All the weather tires, not a thing in the South. So what is going on? The weather status. We have Jeremy Porcine, program director with News Talk 99.5 in New Orleans, who fills us in.
People from, Milwaukee or other parts that see this regularly are like, well, what's the big deal? It's just we have no knowledge of this unless we've lived there. We're just not used to it. Like you said, we have no snow tires. There's been a great meme online about people putting Mardi Gras beads on their tires for snow chains. It's funny, but that's about the closest thing we would even attempt to have, and we know that's not going to work. That's why, I'll be honest, I was a little surprised to see that the game hadn't been postponed until just a little while ago.
Our Milwaukee Bucks got there a day early just to be ready. When do you think the flights in New Orleans are going to get back to normal?
Well, I do know that the airport itself has been trying to get conditions back to normal, but everybody's kind of fighting for the same group of plows that came down to kind of help out with this.
Oh.
But even if the airport can get into a position where they're able to be open, that's going to be up to the airlines. And I was actually looking at the New Orleans airport's website earlier, and a lot of airlines have already canceled flights for today, and I think even maybe tomorrow as well. That's really going to be on an hour-by-hour basis. I know the airport would love to get operations back up and running as soon as they can, but the airlines are going to be the one who are going to make that ultimate decision. And you have to think how I don't know how much
still
of an
abound.
impact this has
We
had
have
on
a
other
crash
airports around
in
the region. But Milwaukee, they probably flew in. Which airline would they have probably? They flew themselves in, I'm sure.
Yes, the Bucks use private charter planes.
So, and maybe because if it's a private, maybe they can get the conditions in such a place where they can get a flight out, but then it's a question of where are they staying and can they get to the airport safely?
Exactly.
So there's all these other factors that come into play, because if they stayed in the New Orleans area, there'll be plenty of bridges that they would have to take if they use the interstate. And even if they tried to go down something like, say, Airline Highway, which is Highway 61, US Highway 61, it's got to be clear enough to safely transport all those players. They could be stuck. It may be more than one game postponed out of this event. Yesterday, everybody was having fun. It's snowfall at amounts that are historic for us. I was just looking at some of the unofficial reports from the National Weather Service. Some areas got up to 11 inches, and officially at the New Orleans airport, they saw 8 inches of snow.
Wow.
That's an amount we just never see here. So yesterday was the fun day. Today, we're dealing with the after effect of that, which is we've got roads are iced over. We don't have the experience, and a lot of us just don't have the vehicles that can handle driving in those situations. Because of that, unless those teams spent the night at the Smoothie King Center, getting them to the arena to play a game is going to be extremely challenging, because there are many roads that are going to have ice. And around here, we have a ton of bridges. There's only so much. They tried salting, they tried de-icing, but we just don't have those kind of supplies, nor do we necessarily have the resources and infrastructure like snowplows, etc., to keep all those things cleared. What would probably not be a major inconvenience in other areas, something like this just becomes a little overwhelming for our area.
Oh, no, I completely understand. You guys didn't have a major snow for maybe 15 years.
I think it just goes to show areas are prepared for what they know. If a hurricane was approaching, we know what needs to be done, and we understand what to do afterwards in terms of, whether or not it's safe to travel and things of that nature. People just aren't used to it. We're up in Baton Rouge. All of us are dealing with very impressive cold, too. That's kind of the bigger thing, too. Snow is one thing. These are temperatures. I woke up this morning here in Baton Rouge, and it was about 9 degrees. Not something we see very often, but we're not going to get a lot of it. There's been some agencies saying we're going to be closed closed again tomorrow. Some schools are going to be remote learning tomorrow. That was kind of the thing we heard from a lot of meteorologists up to this point, was be prepared to shelter in place for a few days, just because we're not going to have that warm enough temperatures to melt some of this stuff, get some of this ice and melt it away and have it be gone. I have a little dog, and it's been fun trying to figure out how to walk her in this, because we don't want her to be, we've got plenty of bundled things, but we don't want to keep her on this icy ground for very long.
When you figure that out, let me know, because my dog still does not have any booties. He's never missed one winter his entire life.
I was about to say, for the first time in my life, I shoveled snow to try to clear a spot for my dog to use the restroom. It didn't work out very well, but the ice that's in our complex, there's so much ice just out there. Like we couldn't get out of our apartment complex if we wanted to. And then after that, and then how much more ice is on any of the major roadways. Expand that to across Louisiana right now.
Wow. You just have to wait for it to melt. It will get better.
No, we're trying to get too stir crazy.
That was Jeremy Porcine, program director with News Talk 99.5 in New Orleans. I'm glad that he has, he's funny about everything that's going on there.
He seems calm, cool, and collected. Probably a little cooler than he'd like with the temperatures, but...
Ooh, nice one. Time for News About Your Money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green, the Dow up more than 44,000 on the day, up 130. S&P 500 up 37. NASDAQ up 252. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Your top stories and Debbie with your traffic. Whoa, next.
Remember, to playing outdoors in a winter wonderland. Here's to cozying up around the fire and holding someone close. And to staying downtown, where the food scene makes your heart sing. And to celebrating moments frozen in time. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your winter getaway at travelwisconsin.com. Sponsored by Travel Wisconsin.
Stop in and load up on great everyday essentials at Fleet Farm Stock Up Sale, January 16th through the 29th. 40-pound bags of Morton Water Softener Salt are just $5.99. Superior Hardwood Fuel Pellets are on sale for $5.49 a bag. And don't forget your backyard friends. 40-pound bags of Black Oil Sunflower Seed are just $14.99. Be sure to stock up on all your everyday favorites, all at the best prices, guaranteed, at Fleet Farm Stock Up Sale.
Team up with the Brewers for an epic company event this season. Gather your crew of just 15 or more for a Brewers group outing and trade weekday meetings for a fun-filled day at American Family Field. Featuring options like tailgate spaces, all-inclusive areas, seating blocks, and more. Plus, Brewers ticket representatives will make planning your event easy, as they'll be your concierge while you book your event. Start planning your company outing today at brewers.com/groups.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Market Watcher Brian Wickert. Well, a lot of folks have buying a home on their New Year's resolution list, and while national news headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, I'm afraid that's just not the case in most of Wisconsin. So how do you make your offer stand out from the others so that someone else doesn't end up sleeping in your dream home? Well, it takes a team of a good real estate agent and a mortgage lender who has all the tools and techniques to help make your offer as attractive as possible in the eyes of that seller. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet, rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that might also come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. We'll also help you understand exactly what it means in dollars and cents if you do decide to offer over asking or give that seller some appraisal wiggle room. All you have to do to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
It was bound to happen. Over your career, investments came along for the ride. The first 401k, brokerage account, profit sharing, employee stock options, pension, another 401k, an insurance policy, an annuity, another 401k. You get the picture. Years went by, the collection grew. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe every portfolio tells a story. After all, we've seen, reviewed, dissected, discussed, and analyzed thousands of them. Some portfolios are like well-tended gardens and reflect diligence, patience, fortitude, and optimism. Others tell the story being sold commission products that might not have been the best choice, maybe for the salesperson, but not for the investor. When the financial planning team at Annex reviews your portfolio, we spot what works and what might not, and then provide unbiased suggestions based on what's important. The retirement you desire. That's where the good stuff happens. That's our story. Every portfolio tells the story. Let's work on yours. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button. That's AnnexWealth.com.
The legendary music of Pink Floyd as you've never heard before. Live in concert with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. Featuring conductor Brent Havens and vocalist Randy Jackson, including a full rock band. Friday, February 7th at the Riverside Theater. Tickets on sale now at BabsTheaterGroup.com.
When you work at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, you'll be helping us help others. There are many that need our help, and we need your help to carry out our mission. St. Vincent de Paul is always looking for part-time team members. You'll get competitive pay, benefits, and flexibility in scheduling. So apply online at svdpmilw.org or stop by Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, or 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:31. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story, a school shooting just happened in Nashville.
I'm Sandy Max, and for John Mercure, snow down south.
And a crash on the ramp from Highway 18 to eastbound 94, still causing problems on that ramp. Looks like it is blocked off right now. Emergency crews on the scene with that. And our other accident on northbound 4394, right about at Holt Avenue, has got the left shoulder blocked. We've got broken down vehicles pretty much everywhere else. So you are going to find slowing around the area. Westbound 94 from about 20th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 41's backed up from before Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Snow gets out of here late tonight. The low will be 13 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. Right now, it's cloudy and 21 degrees in Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, police say a young girl has been shot and killed in Nashville High School cafeteria. The 17-year-old shooter wounded another student today at Antioch High School just before turning the gun on himself. Student Ahmad Salah was in the cafeteria and witnessed it all.
No, regular run. It was like someone was chasing him. He was a monster, just killing people.
This school has about 2,000 students.
More than half the U.S. is in the grips of a powerful polar vortex this week, and a winter storm is dumping record snow across the South, causing icy conditions from Texas to Florida. CBS's Skylar Henry.
In New Orleans' case, they haven't seen snow totals like what we've seen over the course of the last several days in more than 100 years. In Mobile, Alabama, they certainly have set records as well that we've seen since the late 1800s. And so these snow totals are things that people are normally not accustomed to.
The weather system is also sending temperatures plunging in the Midwest, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast states.
Southeast Wisconsin expecting some slightly more mild temperatures later on tonight. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Tyler Moore.
There are going to be pockets of scattered snow showers, mainly through the mid to late morning hours, even into this afternoon. It's not going to be an all-day snow, but pockets of snow showers could lead to a trace to maybe under an inch of snowfall for most of the area all the way into this evening. So watch out for some slippery spots as we roll through the day today.
Your complete 5-day forecast is coming up in about 10 minutes.
charged with intentionally setting fire to Congressman Glenn Grothman's district office in Fond du Lac. 19-year-old Caden Sage Stakowitz from Menasha faces 3 felony charges, including arson, making terrorist threat, and attempted burglary, along with misdemeanor criminal damage to property. Police say he admitted to setting the fire in response to the ban on TikTok briefly implemented over the weekend. In 2022, Congressman Grothman joined other Republican lawmakers in urging Governor Tony Evers to ban the app on government devices in Wisconsin. Congressman Grothman says the defendant had no prior contact with his office before the fire. Cash bond for Stakowitz is set at $500,000. He's due back in court January 30th.
Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers will deliver his annual State of the State tonight at 7.
Among the topics expected to be addressed, his 2024 accomplishments, policy priorities for the new year, and a preview of the biennial state budget. Last year's speech was notable in that Assembly Speaker Robin Vos immediately after critiqued the governor for not mentioning tax relief. Republicans introduced a tax cut package just hours later.
Worst case scenario, he can pick several out of the categories of tax relief to be able to sign them into law.
Among the 4 proposals, only a child care tax cut was approved by Governor Evers. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A fight is brewing between the city and towns of Port Washington over a proposed $33 million AI data center.
At issue is an approved agreement that would allow the city to annex the site of the planned data center in the town, overtaking around 17% of its total land. Town residents voicing frustrations Tuesday night.
This is not what I signed up for. I'm out of here. Most of us are here tonight because we feel you're not listening to us.
Land in the town of Port Washington has been protected from annexation due to a 2004 border agreement that was expected to sunset at the end of this year. City and town leaders have both agreed to move that expiration date up to February 1st. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
In Green Bay,
you know, the fact that we have a professional football team in a quaint little neighborhood, and you know, that's been a sort of a calling card for Green Bay.
That's Rick Smith, who lives in the shadow of Lambeau Field. He tells our partners at NBC 26 he is frustrated with newly approved development coming on Lombardi Avenue and Ridge Street. Neighbors say they're concerned about the increased traffic, stormwater drainage, noise, and loss of sunlight and privacy. The property owner, Tim Keene, says they've made multiple changes to address the neighbors' concerns.
What we've done is, and Steve knows, we've done 3 pages of changes that are working with traffic.
The Green Bay Common Council approved the plans for a 5-story mixed-use building in a unanimous vote that happened last night.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The NBA has postponed tonight's game in New Orleans between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Pelicans after a historic winter storm has dumped about a foot of snow there. We will keep you posted on whether or not the Bucks play the Heat tomorrow night. In the meantime, tonight, you'll be able to hear a vintage Milwaukee Brewers game after Wisconsin's afternoon news in honor to congratulate former Brewers left-hand pitcher CC Sabathia. He is now one of 3 members of the Baseball Hall of Fame's 2025 class on his first year on the ballot. This makes him the 9th Milwaukee Brewer to be enshrined at Cooperstown. And during CC Sabathia's 3 months in Milwaukee, he helped lead the team to the postseason in 2008 as the National League wild card winner, snapping the franchise's 25-year playoff drought. You'll hear some retro baseball highlights tonight. And also tonight, UW Milwaukee men's basketball travels to Dayton, Ohio for a showdown with Wright State.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 3:37.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 844-763-2837. That's 844-763-2837. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Here it is. Yelich sends one to right center and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here and gone for Yelich.
Ah, the sound of Bob Uecker's voice always makes you feel better, bringing this warmth of springtime and summer baseball. And honestly, I feel like the whole city is still, this whole state is still reeling after Bob Uecker passing away last week. This Sunday would have been his 91st birthday. So we still continue to remember Bob Uecker. And Julia, it was at this time last year, I met and interviewed 2 local filmmakers who are working on a documentary about Bob Uecker.
Cool.
It's called Uke, and it's about every aspect of his life. Baseball, of course, but growing up in Milwaukee, also as a comedian and an actor. The 2 local co-directors, Steve Farr and Michael T. Volman, are celebrating his career. And here is a highlight from that chat, because I think you want to hear more.
Did you imagine yourself being a broadcaster?
No way.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Doyle here, welcoming all you friends of the Feather to another season of Indians baseball.
I used to sit in the bullpen and do Harry Carey.
Here we are in the Cardinal clubhouse with along with Jack Buck.
And when I first started doing it for real, it was the worst.
Buddy hired me in 1971. I was doing a New York writers' dinner, and Bud asked me if I'd like to come back to Milwaukee and work. And I said, yeah.
I had to do play-by-play. I never did it before. Never. All the stuff I did, the Tonight Shows and all the other stuff. I don't know if I was ever that frightened. And we're in Yankee Stadium. The engineer finally said, "Uke, you better start talking. There's one out."
Yelich to left, deep, warning track. Get up, get out of here and go. 1-2. Swing him out. Goodbye, Detroit. Hello, New York. It's ready. Oh, my God, the Indians win it. And the Brewers are going to the postseason again. They're the Central Division champions.
That is an excerpt from the documentary film In Progress titled Uke, and you get to see images of Milwaukee Brewers broadcasting legend Bob Uecker celebrating with the teams, getting soaked in 1982 with Robin Yount and Paul Molitor, and more recently in 2018 in the locker room with so many of the players. The co-directors of this documentary In Progress, Steve Farr and Michael T. Volman, are with me in the studio, and you guys have spent the last year following Uke at the ball games, talking with him, talking with his colleagues. What's something you can tell me about being in the broadcast booth with him? That is such a special space.
We first started shooting with Uke actually in spring training last year, and we spent a few days, interviewing and just meeting with him. And then Steve and Joe, our DP, they went and filmed with him in the booth, and it just was kind of, I guess when I saw the footage, they brought the footage back, and I was looking through it. I was like, there's such a process and such like a performative aspect of the radio, and it sounds so natural when you listen on the radio. But then when you see like his just the way he has like his methods of like highlighting certain things, and he, reading through his research, and he has his own very special scorecard that I guess it's been customized for his kind of unique desires to keep score of the game. And he and the other broadcasters share that book, and they pass it back and forth depending on who's calling the inning. And it's funny because Lane Grindle and Jeff Levering, they would say like they kind of would get nervous when they first started working with you to like that they didn't want to mess up his methods of like how he took score and do everything the right way so that it'd be a seamless transition. I guess he actually has someone print like specific score books for the season. I think they go through like 2 a year. And he has a guy that does it. And then through filming, we actually, I think at one point, Lane Grindle kind of showed us took us over to like a locker, and they pulled out like scorecards from, I don't know, a decade worth of games. You could literally open up a scorebook from any game and kind of just like read it if you know how to read it and know like, the history of that game for decades.
Yeah. Baseball hieroglyphics.
That's what I say, the Uecker system and the shorthand, and honestly, that's got to be fascinating. What a cool archive and baseball artifacts.
For sure. Yeah.
So what is the next step to creating this documentary of Uke? What's next on the documentary filmmaker schedule?
Well, we still have a lot of filming to do. We took a little break after the season. I mean, that's I can see why the players are tired at the end of the season. Letting everyone rest up, and we really need to get out to LA, because there's aspects of Bob's life that we haven't touched upon, because being in Milwaukee, it was easy for us to go to the ballpark and film that type of thing. So we can tell the baseball side of the story pretty easily. But there's the Hollywood Bob.
Yeah.
There's the Major League Bob, and there's the Tonight Show Bob, and the Mr. Belvedere Bob, and I think I mentioned earlier, Sandy, about professional wrestling, which isn't like my thing really. But if you talk to younger Bob fans, a lot of them, they know him through professional wrestling more than they do for baseball.
His appearance there wasn't long, but it was impactful. It was memorable.
Right.
If only we could talk to Andre the Giant.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to think that when you ask, hey, we're making a documentary about Bob Uecker's life, would you be willing to chat with us? Does anybody say no?
Oh, I don't think anyone said no, right?
No one said no.
The people are lining up. Yeah. They hear about it, and next thing you know, we're hearing from their people that they'd love to be interviewed.
We've reached out and talked to people, and like, when are you coming? When are you going to be here? When are you be coming out to LA? The Belvedere, a lot of Belvedere, the cast members, we've talked to them, and they're all very excited and
good. How do we follow along with the progress of Ueck, the documentary?
Our webpage is september.club/Ueck, UECK, september.club/Ueck.
They are Steve Farr and Michael T. Volman, the co-directors of the documentary in progress called Ueck, which I'm so excited to have met them at this time last year. If you want to hear that whole conversation with even more behind-the-scenes stories of being at Bob's house and his wife Judy bringing out snacks and that sort of thing,
wow.
You can find it on the podcast at What's on Tap on WTMJ. Or if you text the word TAP to the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. Text the word TAP and you'll get a link to your smartphone, and you can scroll right there and hear that Bob Uecker special.
That's so cool. 3:45 on WTMJ. Lots of traffic going on. Some crashes, not very good. Debbie Lazaga has an update on your roads next.
The Upswing is your place for commerce and community.
So President Trump has indicated that he's going to pursue aggressive tariff policy.
Hosted by Jeff Sherman.
How are many of the Wisconsin businesses preparing for potential tariff increases?
So really getting out there, doing your research, having a lot of options and plans to sort of diversify your supply chains. That's really the best thing you can do.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
John Mercure here for the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. An estimated 1 million Americans live with Parkinson's disease. With 90,000 new cases each year, Parkinson's is a progressive brain disease that affects movement and can also impact mood, memory, and sleep. Dr. Ryan Brennan, a neurologist with the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, shares how their team provides personalized care. Hear it along with all of our past everyday health discussions by clicking the drop-down menu at WTMJ.com.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
We know what you're thinking, and all we can tell you is to drive careful.
Yep, Wisconsin roads are no joke this time of year, especially when you're driving on old, worn-out tires.
Schedule yourself a tire appointment with Richlands. We carry all sorts of tire brands, including Goodyear, Kelly, Continental, and General, to name a few.
And every tire we install automatically comes with free tire mounting, free lifetime tire rotation, free flat tire repairs, and free alignment inspections.
Not to mention free wheel corrosion cleaning, lifetime warranty spin balance, and prorated tire protection.
Let's just say, if you're driving around town, especially this time of year on old, worn-out tires, you're due for tire service.
Courtney's right. And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you have good tread on your tires, because cold, wet, icy roads are no joke. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, and you're due for service.
Richlands Tire and Service,
Such a refreshing change. Rich Lawns.
Really serious on the roads right now. Let's get to Debbie Lazaga with a check of your traffic.
Yeah, we got slick conditions. Some of these accidents are getting cleared, though, so that's some good news for you. We do have 94 eastbound still with that accident on the right shoulder at Sunny Slope Road. A little bit of a delay heading past that scene. Then we've also got this other one on northbound 4394, just about at the ramp from Holt Avenue. This is off on the left shoulder as well. Other than that, we've got broken down vehicles here and there and delays. So southbound 43 backing up from about Locust all the way through the Marquette and over the high rise. Westbound is going to be a bit backed up from about 25th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard. Got a broken down vehicle at 25th Street as well on the eastbound side of the roadway. And then speaking of eastbound, we have a bit of a backup from 76th Street to Hawley Road. Southbound on 41, that's starting to slow down a bit from just south of Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
21 degrees and cloudy right now. Okay, at 3:50 on WTMJ, the Trump transition, Hegseth and vote confirmation hearings. Olivia Rubin, ABC News investigative reporter, joins us. Olivia, can you talk about the affidavit that was just released yesterday on Pete Hegseth for Defense Secretary?
Yeah, so this is sort of the latest allegation coming out against Pete Hegseth. This one coming in the form of an affidavit from his former sister-in-law who's making allegations regarding his second marriage. Remember, Pete Hegseth has been married 3 times. He's currently married to his third wife, and his former sister-in-law is saying that his second wife, Samantha Hegseth, essentially had concerns for her safety in her marriage. She said that she had a code word, essentially, that she would use, and at one point had a hid in a closet there. This is something that Samantha is on the record to some news outlets denying. She is saying unequivocally that there was no violence in her marriage, and Pete Hegseth, of course, is also denying it too. He was asked during his confirmation hearing if there was ever any domestic violence. He had said unequivocally no.
That is really strange. So his wife, his second wife, is saying that her sister is not being truthful with the sworn affidavit?
Well, it's not her sister. It's his former sister-in-law. So, it is remarkable. It's sort of I don't want to call it a he said, she said, but it is a disagreement here on the record. Pete Hegseth's attorney is sort of saying that his former sister-in-law has an axe to grind. But I think really the question here is, does it move the needle in terms of his confirmation? And so far, it really doesn't seem that it will.
Interesting. And then there's Russell Vought. He is trying to get a job that he had previously, right?
Yeah, he's tapped to lead the Office of Management and Budget, which is a big job. And, it does come as he did serve in the first Trump administration in that role. And I think, one of the most interesting exchanges came during his previous confirmation hearing, because he gets 2, because he's under the jurisdiction of 2 different committees, is when he was asked specifically if he would release aid that's been appropriated by Congress to Ukraine. There's still billions of dollars that they're supposed to get. And he wouldn't commit to releasing that. And that is so notable because in the first administration, he was caught up in that impeachment scandal with Ukraine. Remember when Trump had that money for Ukraine halted because he wanted those political investigations? Remember that call with President Zelensky at the time. So it's notable given what happened in the first administration.
And Olivia, President Trump did so much to try to distance himself from Project 2025, but Russell Vought co-authored it. How does that fit into all of this?
Yeah, well, of course, people can judge that for themselves. He, of course, said it had nothing to do with his administration, but Russ did author one of those chapters there that was in the Project 2025 sort of manual, if you will. So, people can certainly judge that for himself. It was a point of contention on the campaign trail, certainly. I remember very vividly how much Democrats hammered in Project 2025 and Donald Trump distancing himself from it. But here we are with individuals associated with it coming back into power.
Is that coming up in any of these criticisms or any of these conversations
Oh, yeah,
in the hearing?
Certainly that's been a point. And the issue of the funding and what happened during his first term also coming up again.
So by this time in President Trump's first term, he had more than a half dozen confirmations. So what does it mean if there's no Health and Human Services Secretary right now, Transportation Secretary, thinking about agriculture? Marco Rubio was sworn in as Secretary of State, which does help. But what does that mean with all of these vacancies?
Well, certainly they want to get it sworn in as soon as possible. And I think that's why we're also seeing such sort of a push in terms of Secretary Pete Hegseth, because even Democrats have said how critical this DOD position really is. Also, when it comes to Donald Trump's agenda, he has made clear immigration, of course, is a major priority for him, and he's roping the Department of Defense into that. So it's critical to have that person in there. Until then, of course, there are acting individuals serving in these roles.
When is RFK Jr. going to start going before the panel?
His hasn't actually been scheduled yet, but he will certainly be coming up. Tulsi Gabbard will be coming up. Kash Patel for the FBI will be coming up. They've got to get them all done.
That's a lot. Olivia Rubin, yes, a lot. ABC News investigative reporter in Washington, D.C., thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
So much to cover in the next hour. We have Justin Garcia, Bucks radio analyst. Tori Lowe is going to talk about the January 6th Wisconsinites who were pardoned. And the suspect involved in arson, allegedly, and terrorism he's been charged with. And it's all related around TikTok being taken off on a Sunday. We talk about that. Travel Wisconsin with Ann Sayers. And we also have Milwaukee Metropolitan Association of Commerce, Dale Koinga, joining us. In the next hour, lot to unpack. It's 3:55 on WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
The Milwaukee Common Council voted in favor of using up to $5 million in city funds for design and construction of a public plaza on West Highland Avenue between Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and the Milwaukee River. The project is expected to be completed by the end of the year. Could Toppers be coming back to West Allis? After closing its only location in the city last May, a new delivery and carry-out only concept has been proposed on National Avenue. Finally, Marquette has named Mike Broker as its next director of athletics. Broker has been with the university for 21 years. I'm Drew Dawson from MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This report is sponsored by the beautiful Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations right now and relax. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
For over 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has been delighting guests with impeccable service and luxurious accommodations. Celebrate your next special occasion with a stay at this newly renovated Milwaukee icon. Enjoy fine dining at acclaimed restaurants and pamper yourself with a service from the Wells Spa and Salon. Experience the hotel's afternoon tea program or take in live music with the best views of the city from Blue, the 23rd floor cocktail lounge. There's always a reason to celebrate with the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today at thepfisterhotel.com.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Here's to a Wisconsin winter you will always remember. To playing outdoors in a winter wonderland. Here's to cozying up around the fire and holding someone close. And to staying downtown, where the food scene makes your heart sing. And to celebrating moments frozen in time. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your winter getaway at TravelWisconsin.com. Sponsored by Travel Wisconsin.
Namaste.
Dan, what are you doing?
Shh.
You're harshing my mellow. Join me in some breathing exercises to chase away the chaos.
Let's focus on our clients since we offer an exceptional way to control the chaos.
Inspired Closets can more than double your closet storage space.
And we don't over-design projects, sending you 3 beautiful designs to fit your price point.
Plus, our true lifetime warranty makes it a no-brainer.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Special Milwaukee Auto Show Advance Discount Ticket Offer has been extended to January 22nd. Turns out a lot of people want to come to the auto show. Get your auto show tickets now at a big discount. Buy a single ticket, or how about a pair of tickets for date night? Or you can buy a family 4-pack and take everybody. They can see all the latest vehicles, including cars, trucks, SUVs, luxury cars, and much more. For advance discount tickets, go to AutoShowMilwaukee.com. That's AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
Built Right, one location saves you money.
Traffic is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
The place to get caught up, to speak out, to connect and be entertained. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 4 o'clock. I'm Julia Fellow. This is Wisconsin's afternoon news for Wednesday, January 22nd. Your top story, a deadly shooting in Nashville.
I'm Sandy Max, in for John Mercure. A new wildfire in California prompts evacuation orders.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Still have a couple of accidents being worked on. 194 eastbound, just about at Sunny Slope off on the right shoulder. The other one on northbound 4394 at Holt Avenue. This one's off on the left shoulder. So watch for delays past those. We've, of course, got backups on 41, just basically your usual stuff, south of Appleton Avenue, all the way down to about Capitol Drive. On the northbound side, we do have a broken down vehicle at Silver Spring off on the right shoulder as well. Westbound 94, we've got backups basically from 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard, eastbound slowing down from Hawley Road to 35th. And then we've got southbound 43 slowing down from about Keefe all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Snow gets out of here late tonight. The low will be 13 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. Right now, it's cloudy and 21 degrees in Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center today, a 17-year-old Nashville student opened fire on fellow students in the school cafeteria, then died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, according to local authorities. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
The White House says President Trump and his team are monitoring the news out of Nashville, and they offer heartfelt thoughts and prayers to those impacted and thank the first responders at the incident. Police say a 17-year-old boy opened fire at a Nashville high school, killing one student and wounding a second. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
A fast-moving wildfire north of Los Angeles in Santa Clarita, California, began late this morning. It's already exploded to more than 5,000 acres, prompting mandatory evacuation orders and road closures.
The fire is burning in the town of Castaic. Some frightened school children got the word to leave their school.
Everyone had to leave because everyone was shouting.
Los Angeles County Fire Department officials say the fire could spread fast because of high winds, which they say are supposed to pick up as the afternoon progresses into the evening.
That was CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz. The area also has not received significant rainfall in about 10 months.
President Trump has spent much of his first few days in office enacting his plans to step up border enforcement. CBS Natalie Brand.
As the Trump administration begins a major crackdown on illegal immigration, CBS News has learned U.S. border agents have been told to deport migrants crossing into the country illegally without allowing them to request asylum. While the Biden administration enacted its own asylum restrictions last June, migrants could still plead their case if they expressed fear of being harmed once deported.
Tom Homan, who President Trump calls his border czar, says targeted immigration enforcement operations are already underway with hundreds of arrests.
The rise of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency has its fair share of followers, but the Trump team released its own digital currency before the inauguration. Marquette University professor of finance David Krause tells WTMJ that the emergence of the new digital coin brings no monetary value to consumers.
Although it's a cryptocurrency, it doesn't have a purpose or a function other than it's built on speculation and entertainment. Now, that's different than Bitcoin or some of the other cryptocurrencies you've heard about. They have a real purpose or utility behind them.
Krause says that meme coin is really only a token and does not have infrastructure as complex as Bitcoin or other digital currency that has blockchain.
Governor Tony Evers will lay out his plan for our state during the annual State of the State address tonight at 7. The governor will lay out the state's policy priorities for the next year in his speech. He says he will include plans to help lower costs for working families, reduce crime and prevent gun violence, he says, and invest in health and well-being of children while improving classroom and outcomes at school.
Coming up, a flight gone wrong for one unusual passenger.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time 4:04.
Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite game, Response in Wisconsin. Guess the most popular responses from Wisconsinites. Okay, here we go. What's your least favorite thing about winter in Wisconsin? Gina Della from Pella.
Let me guess. Frozen toes? Oh, I know. Driving alongside bumper cars every time it snows. And then scrambling to find someone to watch your kids because they're school clothes. Yeah! Let's face it, this is just the time of the year when we just want to all be warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Pella Windows and Doors is the best choice to make your home just right. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years.
Thanks for playing Response in Wisconsin.
Hurry! You only have until January 31st to get 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here, asking you to join me in October as my wife and I explore the magical kingdoms of Southeast Asia, from the villages of Vietnam and the temples of Cambodia to the friendly locals of Laos and the beachside resort in stunning, lively Thailand. I hope you'll join us for this unforgettable journey. Ancient and mysterious worlds of rural landscapes, bustling cities, and fascinating history in Vietnam. Explore the Chu Chi tunnels used by the Viet Cong. Experience a street food adventure through Hanoi and cherish the serenity of Hai Long Bay on a beautiful boat ride. Bangkok in Thailand, the beaches in Thailand, history, tradition, food. If you'd like more information on this great trip, send me an email. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. It's Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. I'm super jazzed about this trip. Send me an email. I send you the info. john.mercure, MERCURE, @WTMJ.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 4:06.
A cat in New Zealand racked up some unexpected frequent flyer miles.
Mittens the cat was supposed to be flying with her human, Margot Nees, who was moving from New Zealand to Australia earlier this month. But baggage handlers in Australia failed to spot her crate in the cargo hold, and by the time Nees realized something was wrong, the aircraft was already on its way back to New Zealand, a 7-hour trip. So it was back to Australia again. The airlines refunded Mittens' transport costs. Nees says Mittens has been extra cuddly ever since her ordeal. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Milwaukee Bucks are getting a snow day in New Orleans. The game against the Pelicans tonight is now postponed because of snowy conditions in the Big Easy. We will hear more from our Bucks sportscaster, Justin Garcia, in just a few minutes. Another former Brewer is heading to Cooperstown. Pitcher CC Sabathia received 342 votes and is one of 3 members of the Baseball Hall of Fame's 2025 class. During his 3 months in Milwaukee, Sabathia helped lead the team to the postseason in 2008 as the National League wildcard winner, snapping the franchise's 25-year playoff drought. And in just a couple of hours, you'll be able to hear our Brewers Classic for tonight, September 28th, 2008, when the Brewers beat the Cubs to get into the playoffs. CC threw a complete game, and you'll hear Euchre on the call. That starts right after Wisconsin's afternoon news. And also an easy win for the number 10 Marquette men, 76-59 over Seton Hall Tuesday night. Next up, Villanova at Fiserv Forum Friday. And the 18th-ranked Wisconsin men took it down to the wire against UCLA, falling just short to the Bruins 85-83 for their first loss since December 10th. Badgers off until Sunday against Nebraska. Badger Sports Updates sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time 4:08.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win. And how many games? 6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, Julia Fellow and Sandy Max.
If you missed it, John was joining us from Hilton Head, South Carolina. Whoa! You can always text WAN, W-A-N. That stands for Wisconsin's Afternoon News, and you can listen into his plight with the snow there. No joke. Seriously.
So he didn't pack his boots, and he doesn't have a shovel in his garage, we found out, which I'm telling you, that would have been a money-making deal right there. He could have shoveled his whole neighborhood and made a mint.
I loved his trip to the grocery store searching for items to get out. You can text WAN, W-A-N, to the Sighting Unlimited Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. We have the most wonderful teammate in studio with us, and he's Tori Lowe, host of Tori Lowe's Show on 101.7 The Truth from 1 to 4 every day. Tori, thanks for being here.
Hey, look, thank y'all for having me.
So President Donald Trump's pardons of 1,500 January 6 rioters included some Wisconsinites.
Hey.
And you've been looking at that.
I've been watching this. I talked about this on my show because, first of all, these pardons, I've never seen the pardons on both sides have been, oh, wow.
Yeah, you know what
both
Donald
sides,
Trump
you're
said?
right.
Donald Trump said during his speech, his inauguration speech, is when it came out that President Biden had pardoned his siblings
family.
and some of their spouses. So he would have spoken on it. So yes, but 1,500 pardons, that's a lot.
Well, we knew that Trump was going to pardon these people. But then when you start looking at the list and seeing that some of these people, one guy from Milwaukee, Janesville, Green Bay, some of the surrounding areas, when these guys come home, I mean, I want to talk to them. I want them to come on my show because because they got a full pardon. I guess they can't go back to jail for anything. So I think that this is an interesting time when we got these many people in our area, almost a dozen people that were a part of this, and they were about to go down, and face the music, when they say you got to face the music. Mm-hmm. But then here come, the Donald with the pardon. And now they're out here, they're going to be wandering around our community, and I want to see if they can come on the show.
Have you reached out to him yet?
I'm going to try. I'm definitely trying. Because especially the guy from Milwaukee who left the country, he left the country.
No, I don't know this.
No, I don't know that story
either. There was a guy from Milwaukee, he left the country to get away from it, and then, they finally got him. But he's from Milwaukee, so I want to see if we can kind of get some live radio footage, some good radio from this guy.
I have a listing. I won't read it out because I don't know. I don't want to out people's names, but because I
didn't want to out nobody's name.
So there's one person from Milwaukee, so I'm not sure if he's that person. But I have a list of the names and the convictions, and I am relieved that none of the convictions that I see would seem to be violence against a law officer, a first responder.
Well, I didn't see
It's a lot of disorderly and disruptive parading, demonstrating, and picketing. They're still there, entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds.
Yes.
I am relieved, I guess, that it's not that. But
okay, they got these pardons. What do we do with all this? Can they talk? I mean, because, we hear the mainstream media.
Not?
Yeah, this is what we're here for.
If this one was nonviolent, if these were where they didn't hurt anybody and no one passed away related to that. But there could be some, I don't know, I guess there could be some family members that file civil cases still against them because they were part of it. And I was talking to Royal Oaks yesterday, an ABC News legal analyst. He said that even though it's a presidential pardon and, it's done, it can still be brought up that they were convicted in civil cases.
So it's on their background.
They can still bring
this erased. When you get pardoned, don't they take it off your background?
It's erased. It's totally erased. But if you're being charged or sued civilly, even if you're pardoned by the President of the United States,
they can bring it up in a civil lawsuit.
Bring that up in a civil lawsuit. I thought that was interesting.
Oh, that's wild. But like I said, here we go. Interesting times. A lot of pardons being thrown around. Even some get out of jail free cards. I think that's the most interesting change of power.
It is.
And going out of power and coming into power, both pardons have become a weapon for both sides.
He is Tory Lowe. Tory Lowe Show, 101.7 The Truth, 1 to 4 every day.
1 to 4, Tory Lowe Show.
All right, tune in. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be locked in. Wait until you have to tell me if you get somebody.
Hey.
I'm going to be on that.
We trying to lock it in.
All right, Tori, thank you. It's 4:14 on WTMJ.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
If you're a woman looking to take control of your financial future, you are not alone. Women are leading the way in business and managing household finances, but challenges still exist. That's why Annex Wealth Management presents the Women in Wealth series every third Thursday. It'll empower you with knowledge and resources to succeed. Join us for collaborative discussions, community building, and learn about key areas of financial planning. Women in Wealth events are free every third Thursday. Sign up at annexwealth.com/events and bring a friend.
Take your family to the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford or Oshkosh today for the Wednesday all-you-can-eat fish fry and just $7.99. Kids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. Just walk in for your $7.99 fish fry. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft restaurant.
This report is sponsored by the Milwaukee Boat Show at State Fair Park.
Don't miss the Milwaukee Boat Show, January 17 through 26, State Fair Park. See over 300 boats from more than 80 manufacturers. Get that boat and get that deal.
Traffic and then weather. Let's get to our Debbie Lazaga. Deb, the roads are no joke.
Bit of a pain right now, but I've seen them worse. I've seen them a lot worse. But at this point, we're still dealing with a couple of accidents. One eastbound 94 at Moreland Road's on-ramp. Left lane of that ramp still blocked. Still have that right shoulder blocked with an accident at Sunny Slope Road on 94 eastbound as well. And it's still up on the board, northbound 4394 at Holt, with the left shoulder blocked with a crash there. Now, other than that, we got a few broken down vehicles here and there. Mostly the delays are very typical. Southbound, basically from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. That'd be southbound 43 for those who are taking notes. Southbound on 41, backing up from Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive as well. And then westbound 94. You've got backups from about 25th Street all the way to Hawley Road. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Snow gets out of here late tonight. The low will be 13 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. Friday, sunny. You can see the sun with a high of 23 degrees. Chance of flurries Saturday with a high of 23. Mostly sunny Sunday with a high of 28 degrees. Right now, it's cloudy and 21 degrees. Your Bucks Radio Network analyst right here on 620 WTMJ and host Bucks Shoot Around pre and post shows. Justin Garcia, what a bummer. Where are the Bucks right now? They're in New Orleans, right?
New Orleans, yeah.
Oh, did they get there a day before?
Yeah, so they were supposed to originally leave Tuesday afternoon, and seeing the forecast, they bumped it up a day early. So they left late Monday morning, early Monday afternoon to get to New Orleans.
Smart.
Yeah, but the storm worse than anticipated. So, I mean, they're still in New Orleans. It's still unsure if they're going to be able to get home tonight, which puts tomorrow's game in serious jeopardy. And you've basically been holed up in your hotel room since Monday afternoon.
Yeah, where do you even practice?
They don't. So they had a practice that was scheduled for Tuesday. That was canceled because there was no way to get to – they were supposed to practice at Tulane. no transportation to get them there. They
Yeah.
were supposed to do a shoot around today, and so, hey, it's even worse today. So that was canceled. So that's the other challenge is even if they fly home, and as of this moment, they're still in New Orleans, even if they fly home tonight and get here around the same time you ordinarily would, having played tonight, I don't know what that means for tomorrow because you have literally done nothing since the game Sunday night. So I have a hard time seeing them actually play tomorrow for that reason if they're coming home late tonight.
And there's also the question of, can the Miami Heat get here?
Yeah, I mean, so...
I mean, how bad is the weather for them?
Yeah, and if you're Miami, you're like, well, is it even worth going to Milwaukee? And the challenge for the Bucks, we know there's at least one game you have to make up, potentially two. They've played 41 games. That's the second fewest in the league. So the back half of the schedule is a lot of games for the Bucks. So one of the oldest teams in the league that already has to play some of the most games down the stretch now has to add one more, potentially two. So you would look at where do they have 2 days off in between a game. There's only 3 instances of that, and none of those 3 line up with the Pelicans' schedule. So like we saw the league have to shift around a lot of games a week ago when you had the wildfires in Southern California and the ice storm in Atlanta. So the way they had to do that was similar to that of looking at where do teams have multiple days off. Some of them don't. So then it's just, okay, this game that you and a third team, the Pelicans and whoever, would have played on Monday, we're going to bump that up to Sunday, and the Bucks are going to come into New Orleans on Monday and play that. Like, you're going to have to get creative and look at things like that.
Wow. Okay, how are Bucks doing? Just get us up to date.
I mean, much better since a 2-8 start. By the numbers, they've been one of the best teams in the league since those first 10 games, and they're currently 4th in the East. I mean, they don't have the tiebreaker against the top 3 teams. That's the tough part. They could still finish potentially as high as 2nd, but the likelihood is it's probably going to be 3rd or 4th. But I think as any Bucks fan would tell you, at this point, I don't care where they finish as long as they're healthy in April.
What are you going to do with yourself tonight?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll just do a mock show with Brandon and see if he wants to kill time. I don't know. But potentially tomorrow, too, that this is like a mini All-Star break now.
Wow. Okay. Justin Garcia. Check him out. Pre and post shows, Bucks Shoot Around, your Bucks Radio Network analyst. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet, guys.
It's 4:20 on WTMJ.
Stop in and load up on great everyday essentials at Fleet Farm Stock Up Sale, January 16th through the 29th. 40-pound bags of Morton Water Softener Salt are just $5.99. Superior hardwood fuel pellets are on sale for $5.49 a bag. And don't forget your backyard friends. 40-pound bags of black oil sunflower seed are just $14.99. Be sure to stock up on all your everyday favorites, all at the best prices, guaranteed, at Fleet Farm Stock Up Sale.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, Peter Frampton. Let's Do It Again tour. April 15th, the Riverside Theater. Grammy winner, the one and only Peter Frampton. On sale Friday, January 24th, 10 a.m. at papstheatergroup.com.
I found a fountain of youth down there at QC Kinetics.
That's Henry Hinton, feeling like his young, active self again after treatments at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine.
I still have trouble walking down steps as I get older. I've had one treatment so far, and I can already tell a difference in my knee.
And that treatment at QC Kinetics used Henry's own natural healing properties, concentrated and placed right at the source of the pain. So Henry and patients just like him will enjoy long-term relief without surgery or downtime.
My knee is not hurting. I remember I was walking down some steps yesterday, and I thought, wow, this is not hurting when I walk down steps. I'm all in on it. I'm all in on QC Kinetics.
It's time to wind back the clock to days without constant joint pain. Start with a call to QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
What are 3 things you can do during a frozen Wisconsin winter? Well, you can go skiing, or do some ice fishing, or you can take a tropical vacation with Mr. Holland's Home Services. No, despite the rumors, we're not adding a travel agency to our robust roster of services. But with Mr. Holland's help, you can enjoy a tropical getaway this winter without ever leaving your home. Bring the heat of the beach into your abode with our top-notch heating repair, replacement, and maintenance. Relax to the soothing sounds of gently cascading water provided by our prestigious plumbers. Bask in the warm glow of revitalizing light, courtesy of Mr. Holland's expert electricians. Heating, plumbing, and electric, or as we like to call it, the trifecta of tranquility. Escape to the tropics and rejuvenate your January with Mr. Holland's Home Services. 866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. Want to say aloha to Total Home Comfort? We can help.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
21 degrees and cloudy here in Milwaukee at 424. So happy you're with us. I wanted to go deeper into that strange story out of Fond du Lac, Sandy. It has to do with TikTok, arson, terroristic threats against a U.S. congressman. 19-year-old Caden Sage Stachowicz of Menasha. We have his mugshot. So if you text WATCH to 855-616-1620, WATCH, you can see his mugshot. So he was charged by the Fond du Lac County District Attorney with arson of Congressman Glenn Grothman's district office and making terroristic threats. The motive? The Wisconsin U.S. Congressman voted yes to require a sale of TikTok. So here's what court records say happened when this fire started in Congressman Grothman's congressional district office at about 1 a.m. Sunday. When police arrived, police say the suspect was standing by his vehicle, and apparently 19-year-old Caden Sage Stachowicz said it was an electrical fire. And then when he saw officers trying to put out the fire before firefighters even got there, officers say that he told them he set the fire because, quote, he does not like Glenn Grothman, that he used matches and gas to set the fire. He wanted to set the electrical box on fire, but, quote, worried because the wind was so strong, he was worried he would set himself on fire. So, court records say, and accuse him of dumping gas on the building, lit the match, and watched it burn. Detectives say the suspect said he wished the whole building would have burned down because TikTok was being shut down by the U.S. government, and Congressman Glenn Grothman voted yes to have TikTok shut down. Now, TikTok, what was it, 14 hours that they were down?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Caden stated he believed the shutdown was against his constitutional rights. He told authorities that in the past he had done peaceful protests, but believes that peace isn't an option anymore. And the court records say that right when he set the fire, he texted his parents what he did and said, "I'm going to jail," to his mom and dad. So this 19-year-old now faces a decade behind bars. No one was hurt in this fire. But the district attorney, Eric Toney, sent out a release. Attached was a criminal complaint and said, quote, "We will continue to aggressively prosecute anyone that attempts to intimidate government officials from performing their lawful duties, regardless of whether we agree with the government action." Stachowicz is behind bars on a $500,000 bond. He'll be back in court next week. Again, his mugshot was released. We have it up right now. If you text WATCH to 855-616-1620, WATCH to our Setting Unlimited Talk and Text line, you can see him. It's 427 on WTMJ. Let's take a look at your Outdoor Living Unlimited and WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. The Dow is up more than 44,000, up 130. S&P 500 up 37. NASDAQ up 252. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
I know, it's here. It's January. WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you have the January blues, brighten up your day with a free prime rib dinner tonight at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, voted the best supper club in the area. When you buy one prime rib dinner, you get a second prime rib dinner free. Or order anything on the menu, your second dinner is always free. Desserts and those huge ice cream drinks. Buy one, get one free. Sip on an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, a bourbon, or choose from over 100 wines on a brand-new wine list. The Fox and Hounds is in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest. It is truly a one-of-a-kind gem. The holiday decorations are still up. Check them out. Thousands of lights, Christmas characters. It is a must-see, and those 7 wood-burning fireplaces will keep you warm and cozy on a cold January night. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The drive is beautiful. The restaurant is spectacular this time of year. Enjoy your free prime rib dinner tonight. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true. But offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people. But the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenex should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
I'm Brett Matschke, and you're due for service.
Richlands.
Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlands.com when you're due for service.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story this half hour, preparing to address the state. I'm Sandy Max, in for John Mercure. A fatal confrontation at a school in Tennessee.
I'm Debbie Loziga. Still got those big backups. Eastbound 94, right around the Barker Road area, we have an accident. It's been there for a while. It's on the ramp from Moreland Road all the way through to, or actually Highway 18, I should say, onto 94 eastbound. So I think they have just cleared that ramp. However, the delays are there, and they are pretty substantial all the way back to Highway 164. So giving yourself that extra time would be a good idea. On the eastbound side further, we've got more delays from 70th Street through the Stadium interchange to 35th. Westbound, slowing right out of the Marquette all the way past Mitchell Boulevard to Hawley Road. Southbound 43 is now starting to get a bit heavier. We're looking at delays from Locust all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge down past Lincoln Avenue. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. Snow early, clearing late. The low will be 13. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. Right now, it's cloudy and 21 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers will deliver his annual State of the State address tonight.
Among the topics expected to be addressed, his 2024 accomplishments, policy priorities for the new year, and a preview of the biennial state budget. Last year's speech was notable in that Assembly Speaker Robin Vos immediately after critiqued the governor for not mentioning tax relief. Republicans introduced a tax cut package just hours later.
Worst case scenario, he can pick several out of the categories of tax relief to be able to sign them into law.
Among the 4 proposals, only a child care tax cut was approved by Governor Evers. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Dr. LeVar Charleston is leaving his role as Vice Chancellor for Inclusive Excellence at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. The move comes amid concerns for the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Educational achievements, financial operations, and fiscal judgments. Charleston remains an employee at the university, returning to his previous teaching position. Provost Charles Isbell will serve as acting director until an interim director is appointed. The university says diversity events, programs, and services will continue, and there will be no direct impact on students in diversity programs.
2 students are dead, and a third suffered a graze wound in a shooting at Nashville's Antioch High School. Police chief says the male shooter took the bus to school and before noon walked into the cafeteria and opened fire, killing a girl. Another student was hurt during the incident.
This individual made his way to the cafeteria where he then confronted a 16-year-old, as we identified as a female Hispanic student, fired, striking her. She is deceased.
An investigation is underway into what happened leading up to the fatal confrontation.
What is the first bill signed by President Trump to become law? Likely the Laken Riley Act. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The measure requires the federal detention of immigrants here illegally if they've been arrested for certain low-level crimes, such as shoplifting and larceny, in addition to more serious offenses. Prior to the changeover in administrations, ICE warned that the bill's detention requirements could cost taxpayers nearly $27 billion a year. The Laken Riley Act is named for the young Georgia nursing student who was killed last February. Authorities have charged a Venezuelan man who was previously arrested for minor crimes and then released prior to the killing.
The act has already passed the Senate and was due to be sent to his desk shortly after final passage in the House.
President Donald Trump and his supporters have made it clear they want to reduce the size of the 2.3 million strong federal workforce. Some of the first executive orders Trump signed took aim in various ways at federal employees. CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz.
Federal workers have been ordered to return to the office 5 days a week. Tens of thousands of senior employees may lose their civil service protections, and Trump has put a hiring freeze in place. Some federal employees told the Washington Post they fear their careers are in jeopardy. Others believe Trump's moves are designed to push people out of the federal workforce.
Lawsuits have already been filed by employee unions, and members of Congress who represent large numbers of federal workers are promising to fight the changes.
Buying a car used often comes with a better value. But what about electric vehicles? Executive editor at Kelley Blue Book, Brian Moody, tells WTMJ's The Upswing.
An electric car has a new car warranty, just like a gasoline-powered car. However, the warranty on the battery and the electric components, the drive components, is typically 8 years or 100,000 miles. So the first 2 or 3 owners are not going to have to worry about this.
Moody says caring for an EV battery properly also goes a long way, like avoiding fast charging too frequently and always keeping the battery above 20%.
The Green Bay Common Council approved plans for a 5-story mixed-use building at Lombardi Avenue and Ridge Street in a unanimous vote last night. John Cordy's house faces the iconic football field. He tells our partners at NBC 26.
It's $1 million view now. I lose that. And again, that's not the end of the world. The end of the world is the driveways coming on Thorndale, a residential neighborhood. There's a school down at the end of the block.
Neighbors say they are not opposed to the development, but are concerned with increased traffic, stormwater drainage issues, noise, and loss of sunlight and privacy.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. No Bucks game tonight. It has been postponed because of an historic winter storm in New Orleans. So no Bucks and Pelicans, but you will be able to hear a Brewers Classic game from September 2008. One that CC Sabathia pitched a complete game. That starts immediately after Wisconsin's afternoon news. Speaking of CC Sabathia, congratulations to the former Brewers left-hand pitcher. He is now one of 3 members of the Baseball Hall of Fame's 2025 class on his first year on the ballot. This makes him the 9th Milwaukee Brewers member to be enshrined at Cooperstown. And during his 3 months in Milwaukee, Sabathia helped lead the team to the postseason in 2008 as the NL Wild Card winner, snapping the franchise's 25-year playoff drought. And tonight, UW Milwaukee men's basketball travels to Dayton, Ohio for a showdown with Wright State.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 4:36.
Hey, John Mercure here for my friends at Dave Dregkamp Heating. When you experience temperatures 10 degrees below zero, more than 15 inches of snow, rain showers, and sunny days in the low 40s, all in a 3-week period, it can only mean one thing. You live in Wisconsin, and that prepared you to be ready for anything. Because here in Wisconsin, anything can happen with our weather. But fear not. For over 42 years, Dave Dregkamp Heating has lived here too, right by your side, ready and prepared for when anything happens. Spring, summer, fall, or winter, even when they all seem to happen at once. Whenever you're experiencing a home comfort dilemma, just call the teams I trust at Dave Dregkamp Heating. From free estimates for new equipment, routine maintenance to ensure your system is ready for anything, or because you simply have a question about your home comfort, call 262-367-2820. 262-367-2820. Dave Dregkamp Heating, because your comfort is their family's tradition. DaveDregkamp.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Time now for your Travel Wisconsin on Wisconsin's afternoon news, sponsored by TravelWisconsin.com. Start your getaway. Ann Sayers, our travel secretaries, on the line, a Citing Limited talk and text line, and we are talking about winter sports.
Opportunities in Wisconsin to play outside during the winter. We get to talk about a few of those today.
Awesome. So we can plan some outdoor adventures with the Snow Report, the Wisconsin Snow Report.
Yeah, this is a really amazing resource to help you find a destination that has your favorite winter activity. It's an interactive map. It details snow conditions for outdoor recreation across the state. Wisconsin ski hills are reporting excellent conditions for downhill skiing right now and snowboarding. And destinations for silent sports like cross-country skiing are also welcoming visitors right now. You can view that cross-country page on the snow report, and that's going to find places specifically for fat biking, snowshoeing, or ski touring. So it's a really great place to start your winter getaway.
And Ann, you just said a phrase that I'm going to get back to, but I want to talk about there are sports that don't need snow necessarily, and that is the new fun phrase, fat biking. What can you tell us about fat biking? I mean, I think it's intended for snow, but do you really need it?
I think you can go either way with this one, which makes it really fun. You know, if there's snow, it kind of puts a new spin on the technical challenges of mountain biking because they have that wider tires that's going to glide over the groomed biking trails. Portage County is actually a great place to check that out for beginners and experts. There's Standing Rocks County Park. They have 10 miles of trails for fat biking. The Green Goblin Loop, that one's a great one for beginners that are just learning the sport. There's the Excalibur Trail. That's one that's better probably for the seasoned riders. And Standing Rocks County Park also has lots of trails for cross-country skiing, including, and this one's always so popular, a lighted section for night skiing. And there's also trails for snowshoeing. Yeah.
What does that look like? The lighted night skiing.
They do those, what do they call, luminaires, so you can kind of follow the trail that way. And you know what? If you're in Portage County, you have to go to the nearby community. It's Amherst. There is now, it's called the Tiny Town Bakery Flatlet. This is so unexpected. It's a second-story studio apartment. You can rent it, and it has views into the adjacent bakery. So you can actually see into the little bakery from where you're staying overnight.
And I hope you can smell some of that, too.
Oh, I bet. You know, there's snowshoeing. I remember this when I was a reporter in Wausau in Rib Mountain, and there's like snowshoeing, and they had it by candlelight.
Oh,
I love that. Oh, that's
like the number one request we get. People want to know where they can do that because it is just such a peaceful experience and so special to Wisconsin.
Absolutely. And there's new winter experiences in Vilas County.
Thrill of ice skating through the Northwoods by visiting Boulder Junction. I am so excited about this. It's new this winter. It's called the Glide. It's a custom-made ice skating trail that goes through Boulder Junction Winter Park. You get to ice skate over these like exhilarating trails that are winding right through the woods.
Wow.
This is the first year again. It's becoming already a super popular destination. They have a Zamboni that actually like makes it, you know, nice and icy. So you got to check it out. That's really cool. I know. It's so neat. I know. I think this is going to be really popular. And then, you know, you're in Vilas County, so it has 1,300 lakes. You know, bring your fishing gear. Local favorites in Boulder Junction include Wildcat, High, and Fish Trap Lakes for some ice fishing in the winter. Plus, you're right there by the Windman Trails. This is a pristine winter playground, and they have all kinds of things on their trails: cross-country ski, fat bike, and snowshoe.
So do they lay out the ice, Ann?
I am not sure how this came together. I need to learn more, but you can Google it or you can just visit. That's what I recommend. And
That's
see this
so
ribbon
interesting.
of ice going through our beautiful Northwoods. I know.
And a Zamboni. I love that. That's so
I
cool.
might just like to ride the Zamboni.
The deer are like, what the heck's going on?
To do that.
And Ann, you know, Door County, lots of people use it as a summer retreat, and you think of the beautiful fall colors, but you can enjoy Door County in the wintertime, too.
Yeah, it gives you kind of a completely different experience to see it in the winter. You could visit the iconic Cave Point County Park. That is such a beautiful and popular spot. There's Peninsula State Park, where you can wander through some of the state park's most remote and peaceful areas. They have 6 miles of trails designated for snowshoeing and winter hiking. And then a great place to stay while you're there is the Landmark Resort. They have a lot of amenities and suites to choose from, and this resort is in Egg Harbor. It just kind of becomes your home away from home. There is a beautiful indoor whirlpool and sauna that would make for a perfect sort of end of a winter day.
Wow. Oh, I want to do all of this. Start your winter getaway at travelwisconsin.com. Our travel secretary, Ann Sayers, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's 4:42 on WTMJ.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
On 894 North, just before the National Avenue exit, the right lane is closed. There's a medical emergency, it looks like.
Call me, Debbie Loziga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hello, Debbie. 41 South, just before Capitol Drive. There are 2 cars involved in an accident.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Rock legend Billy Idol. Live in Milwaukee. Billy Idol.
Nice day to.
It's a nice day to tour again. With very special guest Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Live at American Family Insurance Amphitheater, August 31st. Get tickets this Friday at 9 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. For more, visit BillyIdol.net.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know, that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Loziger, are the roads getting any better?
Well, we don't really have as many accidents or anything out there now, so that's good news. We do have delays. Southbound on 43, slowing down from just north of Locust all the way down through the Marquette, down to Lincoln. On the northbound side, slowing down just out of the Marquette up towards North Avenue. Westbound 94 is a bit slow from the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, and the eastbound side still has those pockets of heavy traffic right past Highway F in Waukesha, and then again past the Barker Road area, past Brookfield Road, and then on eastbound, once again, backed up from about 76th Street through to 35th. So keep those areas in mind. They're still going to be a bit sticky, but at this point, we're doing a little bit better as far as accidents are concerned. I'm Debbie Lozigo with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Snow gets out of here late tonight. The low will be 13 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. Friday, sunny with a high of 23 degrees. A chance of flurries Saturday with a high of 23. And mostly sunny Sunday with a high of 20 degrees. Right now, it's cloudy in Milwaukee at 21 degrees.
Presented by Horicon Bank. It's time for the Milwaukee Economy Briefing, where we dive into the latest trends and insights shaping our city's business landscape. To help explain the trends and the news is MMAC President Dale Koinga on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
The Milwaukee Economy Briefing is sponsored by Horicon Bank. The natural choice is at horiconbank.com. Dale Koinga, so glad you're here with us, especially since we're talking about a lot of trade deals that are going on with President Donald Trump, newly sworn in for a second term, 47th president. So what are the trade deals currently with Mexico and Canada? There's a lot of Wisconsin businesses that are affected.
Well, yeah, we are a huge trade partner with both Mexico and Canada. So it was NAFTA, and then NAFTA was replaced by UMCA, which is expiring next year already. But Trump wants to negotiate immediately, which is very interesting from many different levels. The last trade deal, that was no trade deal in U.S. history has had more support from Congress as that trade deal. And one of the reasons was because it not only kind of shifted the balance of trade, but also put a lot more environmental regulations, particularly on Mexico where they were looser, to say, hey, if you're part of this North American Free Trade Agreement, then you need to up your environmental standards game, which got a lot of Democrats to support as well. So the 10% numbers out there, the 10% is what he's going to throw on Canada and Mexico. It's probably a negotiating tactic because they should be nervous about inflation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once again, it's tariffs or taxes. Taxes and tariffs raise prices. But both those countries are in a really interesting state right now. Mexico just elected a new leader, the first female president of Mexico.
And Trudeau's out.
Trudeau he's in, but he's out. So he's not calling elections till later this year, but he is like the lame duck of lame ducks, and his popularity is non-existent. He has like the lowest ratings of any Canadian prime minister. It's a rating since they've been doing ratings.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be really interesting to see how these negotiations go. I think the consensus is that this is just a negotiating tool, and hopefully we're not seeing significant tariffs put on there. And if they are, like they targeted, they brought, it's a lot of questions out there.
How do Wisconsin businesses that do direct trade deals with both of those countries, what are they telling you?
It is all over the map. I mean, we have members who say this is going to crush my business because the inputs into my products come from Mexico. So if you like right outside our window here, you have smoothie stands and they have fruit, and a lot of that fruit comes from Mexico because they have to, because it can't come from here right now. And so there's products that, because of climate, because of the way global economies work, it has to come from somewhere, and here it comes from Mexico. And so your smoothie is going to cost more if the strawberries or whatever else they put in there is 10% more. That's just a fact that is going to happen. So there are companies in the manufacturing space the same way. There's an input, it's in there, so they're nervous about that. The whole auto industry has a very fine-tuned supply chain. You know, a lot of this is Trump wants to see automobiles made in hopefully Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean,
it used to be made in Wisconsin,
Janesville,
but in America.
Yeah, I was in Janesville a couple years after that GM plant closed. I mean, that affected tens of thousands of people. You know, it just spread out.
Yeah, we used to make hundreds of thousands of cars, and now we make 0 cars.
Well, yeah, and
Wisconsin.
and the reason why that GM plant kind of closed is because it was kind of in a zigzag.
Yeah, it was very poorly laid out. They literally took the cars up to the second story.
Mm-hmm.
It was not ideal layout, and then
they went to Tennessee, which was like football fields long. So maybe we could bring it back to Janesville. I mean, that was devastating. So what about Russia? Because there's already sanctions, and a lot of Wisconsin businesses have been affected by that. But just I saw in the headlines on CNN and Fox News that if the war in Ukraine isn't settled, there'd be more sanctions and more things that Trump is threatening.
Well, Russia's a non-factor. I mean, there was almost zero trade between Russia and the U.S. previous to this conflict. And I read one time before, if you take vodka and oil out of the Russian economy, their economy is the same size as Belgium. So they are truly a country that has some huge economic issues. They're surviving by trading with China. So it's been interesting. Are you going to indirectly impact their trade by hitting China on the back end? And then from a military perspective, doing more and more deals with North Korea as well. So it will be interesting how they squeeze Russia. They have done things with freezing currencies. There's billions of dollars being frozen right now in Europe. And there's been some great discussions on using that money to rebuild Ukraine.
Do you think that, because you have a military background, do you think that it's going to be settled? The war in Ukraine?
Yeah, I think we're 3 years now into the war. There has to be capitulation on both sides. I mean, I think that Putin at some point has to find a way out. Their casualties are a lot higher than are being reported. The numbers that are out there are about 1,500 a day casualties. We don't know if those are KIA, killed in action, or those are maimed. But the fact is that even in Russia, in the 21st century, your military relies on a certain factor of volunteers, and they're just running out of bodies, which is why they have North Koreans that are fighting. I mean, we are in a global war. I mean, it's kind of like in America, we think of World War II starting in 1941. No, World War II started in the mid-30s when Hitler started rolling nations, and we were happy and isolated and not in it. I mean, we're probably in, or to expect how you define it, we are in a world war right now. I mean, the support of Chinese technology for Russia and North Korean troops, and then more deals with Iran and Russia, and then Ukraine being supported directly and indirectly by European allies and the U.S. I mean, there's a very global component to this war, and I think all parties want to see how do we get out of this and everyone declare victory. And Putin's not, I mean, you know, Putin, he's an egomaniac. He's not going to leave this thing with any sort of narrative that Russia lost. But at the same time, I think he knows it's expensive, both dollar-wise. I don't think he cares about lives cost. It's kind of the Russian tradition, is they don't care about lives. They fight that way. To this day, they fight that way. They fought that way in World War I. They fought that way in World War II. And they fight that way today where life is cheap in Russia. It's cheap. And they just throw it at it. But still, at a certain point, even dictatorships to a certain point rely upon the good grace and the will of the people. And you would think at some point here, Putin feels that and has to find an exit.
Interesting.
That's why it's there should be more pressure. There's a great article in Wall Street Journal about this today, is keep applying pressure and force Putin to the table to end this war.
We'll be certainly monitoring that. And we started this conversation with tariffs. And one of the things that I remember was a tariff on like metals, and that was affecting the breweries and the craft breweries. They stopped producing beer in cans. And we were talking before about the brewery situation around here. What's the latest? I mean, my heart is crushed that we lost City Lights Brewing and Enlighten Brewing just a few weeks ago. Does any of this possibly impact our brewing industry here in Wisconsin? Any of the tariffs?
I'd say of all the things impacted, well, tariffs, I mean, there's a lot of things going on here. There's a lot going in the mix. Just talking about the brewery industry in general, it's really interesting for this first time ever recorded is there were more microbreweries shut down last year than opened. So there's definitely a passing nationwide of this microbrewery proliferation that now there's just the inputs, which to your point about tariffs, like the cost of wheat, barley, and things that go in beer, if they're subject to 10% more tariffs, then they're going to probably the price of beer will go up. Just like people are getting older, and you know, I'm not that old, but like at 45, I could tell you like when I have that like really heavy beer, I get a little more sleepy than I did 10 years ago.
Oh, the worst.
Yeah.
Forget about hangovers. I cannot do that anymore.
Yeah, and then also these breweries, I mean, it's a very, well, it's always relative, but it's capital intensive, right? When you look about those big, beautiful brewing machines and the space you need.
The huge vats.
Huge vats. I mean, that
Specialties,
costs money.
brewmasters.
You typically finance that. And when you finance that, interest rates are higher. And, you know, if you're borrowing $500,000 to do that and interest rates go up 2%, that's a lot of beer you need to sell to make up that margin. So we're seeing around town here some breweries that we love. I love them all. There's really no breweries here that I gave the thumbs down to. And a lot of them are, you know, some of them are folding.
Wow. He is Dale Koenga, president of the MMAC. The Milwaukee Economy Briefing is sponsored by Horicon Bank, the national choice. Visit horiconbank.com. Dale, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, too. Appreciate it.
Here's your business headlines.
Tell us a little bit about Innovative Signs.
We're located out in Waukesha. Where we are really focused mostly is manufacturing outdoor electrical signs.
You came to Horicon Bank. How do you think other local businesses can benefit?
When I call, Michelle picks up the phone, and when I email, she responds in a timely manner. A few years ago, I talked to my accountant about shopping around looking for a different bank just to get some alternatives, and he said, absolutely not. You're not going to like working for a big bank. They have a lot more regulations. So that's how we got involved with Cornerstone Bank. When Horicon purchased Cornerstone, we came along for the ride, and it's been great.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
The Milwaukee Common Council voted in favor of using up to $5 million in city funds for design and construction of a public plaza on West Highland Avenue between Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and the Milwaukee River. The project is expected to be completed by the end of the year. Could Toppers be coming back to West Allis? After closing its only location in the city last May, A new delivery and carry-out only concept has been proposed on National Avenue. Finally, Marquette has named Mike Broker as its next director of athletics. Broker has been with the university for 21 years. I'm Drew Dawson from MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. Taxes in retirement could take a bigger bite out of your savings than ever before. With a rising tax environment, many retirees are worried about running out of money. At Drake & Associates, we understand those fears, and we're here to help you feel more confident about your retirement. That's why we're offering a free retirement toolkit and a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready, to help you take control of your financial future. Don't let rising taxes catch you off guard. Text TAX to 414-897-9522 to claim your free resources. That's TAX to 414-897-9522.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. At Diamonds Direct, there's no gotcha clause, no fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Who else does this? There's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Sun, 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 fun, 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 sun, sun, sun.
Boaters, this is your show, the Milwaukee Boat Show at State Fair Park. Over 300 boats, family runabouts, ski and surf boats, luxury pontoons, more Lake Michigan boats than ever. Tierra, Beneteau, Pursuit, Cruisers, Sea Ray, Boston Whaler, and more. Get that boat and get that deal. See Twiggy the water skiing squirrel the second weekend. Check MilwaukeeBoatShow.com, January 17 through 26, closed Monday and Tuesday.
$1 for just $1 over cost. You can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. Available at all 5 Griffin stores. Just $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Traffic is sponsored by the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The successful Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring positive, professional servers, bartenders, and pizza cooks. You'll make real cash. Inquire today, start next week. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
Your locally owned hometown station gives you the news and what it means to you. Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 5:01. I'm Julia Fellow. This is Wisconsin's afternoon news for Wednesday, January 22nd. Your top story: charged for setting a fire to a congressman's office.
I'm Sandy Max, in for John Mercure. Troops sent to the southern border.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on 43 is still going to be a bit backed up from North Avenue all the way down through the Marquette, down to the KK River crossing. On the northbound side, we've got delays from Kilbourne all the way up towards Locust. We've got westbound 94, also kind of a tight squeeze, leaving the Marquette all the way to about Hawley Road. Eastbound still going to be heavy through the Barker Road area, and then back on the brakes from 76th Street to 35th, and then southbound 41. Watch for those delays from just before Appleton Avenue all the way down through the Capitol Drive area, almost to Burleigh. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Snow gets out of here late tonight. The low will be 13 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. Right now, it's cloudy and 21 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, in 2 hours, Governor Tony Evers will lay out his plan for our state during the annual State of the State address.
The governor is expected to lay out the state's policy priorities for the next year, as well as plans to address pressing issues in Wisconsin. Proposals will include lowering out-of-pocket costs for Wisconsin families, supporting the state public education system, the new state Office of Violence Prevention, and addressing the state's looming child care crisis. The governor has already said he will propose allowing Wisconsin citizens to initiate referendums in his upcoming budget speech in February. Republicans have said that plan will be dead on arrival. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Charged with intentionally setting fire to Congressman Glenn Grothman's district office in Fond du Lac, 19-year-old Caden Sage Stakowitz from Menasha faces 3 felony charges, including arson, making a terrorist threat, and attempted burglary, along with misdemeanor criminal damage to property. Police say he admitted to setting the fire in response to the ban on TikTok briefly implemented over the weekend. In 2022, Congressman Grothman joined other Republican lawmakers in urging Governor Tony Evers to ban the app on government devices in Wisconsin. Congressman Grothman says the defendant had no prior contact with his office before the fire. Cash bond for Stakowitz is set at $500,000. He's due back in court January 30th.
Breaking news. Nashville police say a teenage boy shot 2 female students at a local high school, killing one of them. The shooter then turned the gun on himself. One other student has a graze wound. Here's Nashville police spokesperson Don Aaron, who just had a news conference saying there's no threat to the public.
There is no danger at the school. The police department's SWAT team has cleared the building. We have identified the shooter, again, as I said, a 17-year-old, and the investigation is advancing.
And that 17-year-old was a student at the school. The victims have not yet been identified.
The Defense Department is sending hundreds of military personnel to the U.S. southern border as part of the Trump administration's effort to boost border security. News Nation's Kelly Meyer.
We knew when President Trump declared that national emergency executive order at the border that this would direct the Department of Defense, the Secretary of Defense, to allow U.S. military personnel, the National Guard, to be sent down to the southern border. What we didn't know is the number of troops. And what we're hearing more today is that it's 1,500 U.S. military personnel in addition to what's already down there that will be sent to the southern border. And we're also hearing that this is just the first wave. We're expecting to hear more from the Pentagon.
However, what exactly the troops will be doing is not yet known.
Coming up, promoting water safety all year long.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:05.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Time's ticking on Heiser's Drive Into 2025 sales event. The clock is literally running out on remaining 2024 models. We're making room for new rides, which means huge savings just for you. Shop online or race in today and get a new vehicle for way less than expected. With low payments, special financing, and immediate delivery, you'll start 2025 in style without breaking the bank. But hurry, because once they're gone, they're gone. Visit Heiser.com now for all of the details and get ready to roll into the new year with a celebratory deal.
See dealer for complete details.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Stormfisher with Stormfisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional? Worried about the direction of our economy? About making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement.
We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:07.
Promoting water safety with a squirrel on skis.
That's what Twiggy, the world-famous water skiing squirrel, is doing at the Milwaukee Boat Show this week. She glides across a small pool fitted with a life vest made out of a beer koozie. But sometimes a squirrel is unpredictable.
One show, we actually had a Twiggy jumped out, went into the tallest tree that she could find, and we had to call the fire department to get her out.
Her handler, Charles Best, tells WTMJ the current water safety spokes animal is actually the 10th iteration of Twiggy.
Twiglet is her real name. She's 7 years old. She was my first squirrel when I took over after my mom retired.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Milwaukee Bucks are getting a snow day in New Orleans. The game against the Pelicans tonight is now postponed because of snowy conditions in Louisiana and the South. Another former Brewer heading to Cooperstown. Pitcher C.C. Sabathia received 342 votes and is one of 3 members of the Baseball Hall of Fame's 2025 class. During his 3 months in Milwaukee, they were impactful. Sabathia helped lead the team to the postseason in 2008 as the National League wild card winner for the first time in the franchise, snapping a franchise 25-year playoff drought. An easy win for the number 10 Marquette men, 76-59 over Seton Hall Tuesday night. Next up, Villanova at Fiserv Forum on Friday. And the 18th ranked Wisconsin men took it down to the wire against UCLA, but fell just short to the Bruins, 85-83 for their first loss since December 10th. The Badgers are off until Sunday against Nebraska. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 5:09.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, Julia Fellow and Sandy Max.
Julia, do you know what yacht rock is?
I did not. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure it out. But like the news,
I know the right person to tell you. Yeah. What did Tiff have to say?
She said her daughter even knows what yacht rock is. And I'm like, okay, I'm totally out of it.
It is good for all ages. And if you don't know what yacht rock is, I know pretty much an expert. The band The Docksiders. Maybe you've seen them. They are a Whammy Award-winning band. I know I've seen them at Summerfest. They are a yacht rock band. And they're also Las Vegas award winners in the past year. They have a residency for like 2 weeks at a time in Vegas, regularly tour the United States. Well, the Docksiders, husband and wife, and a whole band, they are back in Milwaukee Saturday for their annual homecoming show at the Pabst Theater. It's going to be a really good time. And Julia and anybody else who isn't up to speed on yacht rock, this is Kevin Suker, the captain of the Docksiders, talking about their homecoming.
Milwaukee will always be our home. We have such a special place in our heart for the community, the people, our family, our friends, and just to see the, we're very close to being sold out on Saturday night. Just to feel that we're coming back and have that support of our community where we started the Docksiders, it means the world to us. It's really, really not lost on us. We talk about coming back to Milwaukee almost all year long. We kind of measure every show up to the show that we play annually at the Pabst Theater. So it feels great to be back.
Aw, and you mentioned that you'll have some special guests, some surprise guests, but I have to think that that's also what makes a homecoming show special, is that you do get to collaborate with those musicians who you did get to see regularly.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, like, I suppose I'll drop a little bit of info on your show. We have a dear friend that was a fan favorite on NBC's The Voice that is going to be joining us at our show on Saturday night. So we are super excited to introduce her to Milwaukee. And I think it's just going to be an amazing addition to what it is that we've prepared.
That's exciting. And honestly, there are now documentaries about yacht rock. Are you still a student of the genre? Like, did you watch the HBO documentary about yacht rock?
I was actually at the 4-minute and 30 mark. They got a little clip of me talking in the yacht rock documentary on HBO Max. And they used my quote of, it was the music I listened to in the dentist chair that we kind of joke about. But yes, it's so interesting. There is a culture of yacht rock fans that love this music that is loosely considered soft rock hits of the 70s and 80s. But the true definition of yacht rock is very narrow and it's very specific. And there are yacht rock purists that would argue back and forth about what songs should be considered yacht rock and which ones aren't. So it's a funny culture. There are Facebook groups that have hundreds of thousands of people that now kind of are coming to the party and talking about it. But what a testament to a new genre of music that has found some great wings, a second life, so to speak. And I compare it to the doo-wop era of my parents' generation. That was the music that they kind of grew up with, that sort of 50s, 60s, the Beach Boys, and that that music aged with that group of people. I feel that yacht rock is going to be the same for my generation. It's the music that we grew up listening to, and it's so beautiful because it covers the gambit through Olivia Newton-John to Toto and Hall & Oates and Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald. It's just wonderful music.
You can hear it. He lives it. He doesn't just go on stage and perform it. That is Kevin Suker, the captain, with his captain hat and everything of the Docksiders. They'll be in concert. Pabst Theater, Saturday night, their annual homecoming show. I would expect that it would sell out with family and friends here. Yeah, but you can hear that full chat with Kevin of the Docksiders on the What's on Tap podcast from last night, including we talk about his 3 Grammy nominations, and he was involved in the Academy Award-winning film Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, wow.
We have such a wealth of talented people here in Wisconsin. So text TAP, T-A-P, text TAP to the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620. Text TAP, and we will send you that link so you can listen and enjoy.
Awesome. We have traffic coming up next. Debbie Loziga gets you home safe.
Don't count us out. Not
Lillard
yet.
scoops to the hoop, lays it in. The Bucks have taken a 1-point Lopez in transition, squeezes up a 3, and he drilled it. The Bucks throwing fire.
This season is far from over.
To work with, drives inside and stuffs it down with the right hand. 59 points now for Giannis. He's tapping his chest as he goes the other way, saying, "This is my house.
We are the home of the Bucks.
This is my house."
WTMJ.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
Explore outdoor living this Saturday from Eric Brown, the president of Outdoor Living Unlimited. He knows his stuff. They expand your living space with decks, patios, fire pits, even outdoor kitchens, and can show you a virtual reality of it all for starters. Outdoor Living Unlimited did a great job at the Matzik household. We love it. So listen and call Eric this Saturday on WTMJ's Fix It Show and check out OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Angela Calais and Benefit Realty.
At Benefit Realty, pay only 3.5 to 3.9% real estate commission and get all the service that you should. Benefit Realty, you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
Traffic and then weather. Let's get to our Debbie Lazaga. Deb, how are the roads?
Well, we still have some delays out there, but no other incidents really. Southbound on 41, still heavy from just before Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. We've got southbound 43 hitting the brakes around Fond du Lac Avenue and stretching all the way through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge down to the KK River. The northbound side's also backing up from Kilbourne all the way up to Locust. Westbound 94, a heavy ride out of the Marquette all the way to about Hawley Road. Eastbound's got some backups through the Barker Road area past Brookfield Road, and then back on the brakes from 76th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange to 35th. One other backup is going to be on southbound 894 just south of the Zoo interchange all the way down to Lincoln. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Snow gets out of here late tonight. The low will be 13 degrees. Tomorrow cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. Friday sunny with a high of 23 degrees. A chance of flurries Saturday with a high of 23. And mostly sunny Sunday with a high of 20 degrees. Right now it's cloudy and 21 degrees in Milwaukee.
I'm Sandy Max, in for John Mercure today with Julia Fellow. Yes. And, we've been talking about TikTok, especially the arson case where, oh my gosh,
crazy.
A 19-year-old Wisconsin fella set fire to Glenn Grothman's office in
Yeah.
protest as soon as TikTok got banned. So there have been some, I would call that an overreaction.
Yeah, he has been charged with making
3 different
terroristic
counts.
threats
Yes.
and arson. So he faces a decade behind bars if convicted.
Yeah, and on $500,000 bail. So TikTok is a serious subject that is going to be a hot topic, and with President Trump now trying to extend that and figure out a deal. But I found an interesting fact today, Julia, that I was like, oh yeah, I did notice that. There was an article in The Hill that said a TikTok ban means losing the one platform on social media, making Americans want to read books. Mm-hmm. And I was in Chicago over the weekend, went to Target, did a Target run for my mom, and I was walking through and I did see it said #BookTalk. Mm-hmm. And it's an entire section of books that are obviously influenced by people who are giving ratings and recommendations. And I kind of browsed. It looked like a lot of young adult authors, fine and dandy, but it struck me. I was like, oh, there's actually a section with signage that says
industry
BookTalk.
From TikTok that's, rejuvenating people, the younger generations to read again. So I'm on TikTok. It's like America's Funniest Home Videos for me when my algorithm is just funny stuff. But I have gotten onto the algorithm of this BookTalk where a lot of people just film other people, on a train, or they're getting ready to board a flight and they see them reading the book that they just read and turning to the page where there's a big reveal. And then people are just getting their reactions. And some people's eyes bulge out of their head when something happens.
Yeah.
So it's gotten me into, I can't really think off the top of my head, it's at the tip of my tongue, a few books where I've looked into it. So it is like a whole industry on TikTok that, honestly, I didn't even think about that until you said that.
Turning people on to
really
authors.
Smart of Target to do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought that was good too. But I have to think that publishers are worried about this.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. That's so interesting. 5:21 on WTMJ. Coming up next, Trump's first 100 hours affecting the markets. What's going on with AI, crypto, and what is a meme coin? We have Brian Jacobson with Annex Wealth Management up next.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here, asking you to join me in October as my wife and I explore the magical kingdoms of Southeast Asia, from the villages of Vietnam and the temples of Cambodia to the friendly locals of Laos and the beachside resort in stunning, lively Thailand. I hope you'll join us for this unforgettable journey. ancient and mysterious worlds of rural landscapes, bustling cities, and fascinating history in Vietnam. Explore the Chu Chi tunnels used by the Viet Cong. Experience a street food adventure through Hanoi and cherish the serenity of Hai Long Bay on a beautiful boat ride. Bangkok in Thailand, the beaches in Thailand, history, tradition, food. If you'd like more information on this great trip, send me an email. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. It's Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. I'm super jazzed about this trip. Send me an email. I send you the info. john.mercure, MERCURE, @WTMJ.com.
By now, you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semperfi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi!
Hey, it's WTMJ's Eric Bilstead. As we ring in 2025, are you heading into the new year with the same old joint pain? It's time to make a resolution, to get moving again. No more achy joints for your knees, your hips, shoulders, or your back. You're going to call QC Kinetics in 2025, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. Got locations in Greenfield and Mequon under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Ashley Caravelli. Yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. This is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions. So many of your neighbors here in Milwaukee are living life again without the constant pain in their joints. Here's what you do. Resolve to get lasting relief in 2025. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today. Happy New Year.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
524 on WTMJ. President Donald Trump just sworn in Monday. We're already making huge changes. We wanted to get a check of the markets with Annex Wealth Management's chief economist, Brian Jacobson, joining us on the Citing Unlimited Talk and Text line. Hey, Brian.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, it looks like the markets are reacting very well to President Trump's second term. Is that usual every time a new president is elected?
Not necessarily. I think that really, you have seen it across the board. I mean, the first year of a presidential election oftentimes is a little bit of a honeymoon period. I mean, the first day, the first week, maybe not so much. It's a kind of a mixed bag here. I think the market has been really responding to mostly a pleasant surprise that he didn't come out and have some executive orders right away about increasing tariffs on some of our trading partners. That's something we were expecting, that he was going to wait on that, maybe have some sort of economic analysis first, maybe try some negotiation, and that's how it's played out. But the market seemed to be caught a little flat-footed on that, and we've had some good cheer in the first more than 100 minutes and more than 100 hours, or less than 100 hours so far.
Yeah, and the president's, one of his first sons, Eric Trump, took down a report that he had a meeting with a senator, Cynthia Lumpus, about creating an American strategic Bitcoin reserve. He tweeted that out. So how is crypto, the crypto world reacting to that news?
Yeah, the crypto world has been really enthusiastic about Trump, and we have seen that with Bitcoin prices going up and other coin prices going up as well. It's not just Bitcoin. It's there's a whole wide buffet of coins that are out there, and I'm not quite sure that they're going to get a lot of traction with the idea of having a strategic Bitcoin reserve, mainly because what purpose would it serve, right? I mean, you can kind of understand, I think, a strategic petroleum reserve as far as needing that in case of national national emergency. I can't imagine a national emergency that would require the use of Bitcoin. And so perhaps he deleted that tweet. Maybe he had the meeting and maybe the meeting didn't go well. But coins, Bitcoin, meme coins in general, there's quite a few people that are investing in those, or I think you could say maybe more speculating than investing in those.
Interesting. He is Brian Jacobson, Annex Wealth Management's chief economist. Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's take a look at your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Dow over 44,000 on the day, up 130. S&P 500 up 37. NASDAQ up 252. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, a weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. Sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining me today is Jeff Salasinski, Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, the commercial insurance market is getting more complex every day. We talk about it week after week. Are these issues concerning as we're approaching this busy time of year for insurance buyers?
Thanks, Vince. Great to be here again. It's a very complex market, but full of opportunity right now as well.
All right, let's talk more about what that opportunity is, Jeff.
Vince, underwriting income is up and investment income is up for insurance companies. That's good news for buyers. A strong finish to 2024 and a strong start in 2025 are very important for the insurance companies. And again, this is all good news for buyers too.
Okay, so how can folks who are listening to the show take advantage of this to improve their insurance programs?
Vince, with more capital and better results, what almost always follows is a desire to write more new business. If you haven't heard from your agent, it's getting late, but there's still time to act. If you have heard from your agent and aren't satisfied, there's still time to talk to R&R and get another option and another quote.
So what's the message here, Jeff, then, if you have an upcoming renewal, say in December or January?
Vince, you can improve your coverage importantly. You can probably save some money as well right now. Market conditions are favorable, and there's still time to get a quote. It's not too late for your December or January renewal.
So why should a business work with R&R Insurance?
Vince, buyers shouldn't settle for poor service or continue to tolerate being uninformed. It'll cost you nothing to sit down and talk to R&R Insurance. If you're looking for a better insurance buying experience, we'd love to speak with you. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlands. Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlands.com when you're due for service.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It is 5:30. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story this half hour, the annual State of the State address is coming up.
I'm Sandy Max, in for John Mercure, following through on campaign promises.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, southbound on 41. Going to be a little slow from Silver Spring all the way down to about Capitol Drive. On eastbound 94, we've got some backups coming through the Barker Road area all the way to almost Calhoun. And then we've also got some more delays then from the zoo onto the bypass heading southbound towards National Avenue. Eastbound continues heavy from about 84th Street all the way through to 35th. Westbound is a solid ride out of the Marquette all the way past Mitchell Boulevard. And southbound 43, you're going to see some delays from before Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Northbound slow from Kilbourne all the way up to Locust. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Snow gets out of here late tonight. It'll be 13 degrees. Tomorrow cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. Right now it's 20 degrees and cloudy here in Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers will deliver his annual State of the State address at 7 o'clock tonight.
Among the topics expected to be addressed, his 2024 accomplishments, policy priorities for the new year, and a preview of the biennial state budget. Last year's speech was notable in that Assembly Speaker Robin Vos immediately after critiqued the governor for not mentioning tax relief. Republicans introduced a tax cut package just hours later.
Worst case scenario, he can pick several out of the categories of tax relief to be able to sign them into law.
Among the 4 proposals, only a child care tax cut was approved by Governor Evers. Travers. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Dr. LeVar Charleston is leaving his role as Vice Chancellor for Inclusive Excellence at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. The move comes amid concerns for the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Educational Achievement's financial operations and fiscal judgments. Charleston remains an employee at the university, returning to his previous teaching position. Provost Charles Isabel will serve as acting director until an interim director is appointed. The university says diversity events, programs, and services will continue, and there will be no direct impact on students in diversity programs.
In Nashville, a 17-year-old student opened fire on fellow students in the school cafeteria, then died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
The White House says President Trump and his team are monitoring the news out of Nashville, and they offer heartfelt thoughts and prayers to those impacted and thank the first responders at the incident. Police say a 17-year-old boy opened fire at a Nashville high school, killing one student and wounding a second. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Southern California remains under high fire danger conditions, and a new fire is broken out. ABC's Alex Stone.
Because of the fire burning and turning day into night with the smoke, Interstate 5, the major highway going north out of L.A., is now closed. There are evacuations in place in the town of Castaic. That's just north of Santa Clarita. A large lake is protecting Castaic and seems to be holding the fire, but there's a huge plume of smoke over northern L.A. County.
Officials say red flag fire conditions continue due in part to the Santa Ana winds.
Just days into his new administration, President Donald Trump is following through on his campaign promise to deal with the migrant problem at the southern border. He signed another executive order to deploy 1,500 troops to the southern border, where 2,500 soldiers are already stationed under federal orders. CBS Camilo Montoya Galvez.
They are supposed to be providing only logistical and operational support because of longstanding legal limits that prevent the military from being used in domestic law enforcement, including the enforcement of federal immigration laws. We also understand that according to one memo we obtained, the administration is planning to send as many as 10,000 overall troops to the border. So the numbers could increase in the coming weeks and months.
The memo also says the Defense Department may convert its bases into holding facilities.
Meme coin is a new digital currency the Trump team released before the inauguration, but does it really have value online compared to Bitcoin? Marquette University professor of finance David Krause tells Spanning the State that the coins are more of a token rather than a currency coin, and only based on speculation.
This is purely based on speculation. I call it the greater fool theory, and people who've taken my courses know this. Assets either have a fundamental value, they have interest or dividends or rents that get kicked off, and you can figure out what they're worth by analyzing them, or some assets are only worth what the next person is willing to pay for it.
Krause compares the Trump meme coins to Packer shares and say the value only exists with the owner and no one else.
The Green Bay Common Council approved plans for a 5-story mixed-use building at Lombardi Avenue and Ridge Street in a unanimous vote last night. John Cordry, his house faces the iconic football field. He tells our partners at NBC 26.
It's $1 million view now. I lose that. And again, that's not the end of the world. The end of the world is the driveways coming on Thorndale, a residential neighborhood. There's a school down at the end of the block.
Neighbors say they are not opposed to the development, but are concerned with increased traffic, stormwater drainage, noise, and loss of sunlight and privacy.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All sports desk. The Milwaukee Bucks are getting a snow day in New Orleans. The game against the Pelicans tonight is now postponed because of snowy conditions in Louisiana. Instead, tonight on WTMJ, you'll hear a Brewers Classic game from September 28th, 2008, featuring former Brewers left-hand pitcher CC Sabathia pitching a complete game against the Chicago Cubs. CC Sabathia is one of 3 members of the Baseball Hall of Fame's 2025 class in his first year on the ballot. This makes him the 9th Brewer to be enshrined at Cooperstown. During his 3 months in Milwaukee, Sabathia helped lead the team to the postseason in 2008 as the NL Wild Card winner, snapping the franchise's 25-year playoff drought. And tonight, UW-Milwaukee men's basketball travels to Dayton, Ohio for a showdown with Wright State.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 5:36. This report is sponsored by Horicon Bank, the natural choice, horiconbank.com.
Tell us a little bit about Innovative Signs.
We're located out in Waukesha. Where we are really focused mostly is manufacturing outdoor electrical signs.
You came to Horicon Bank. How do you think other local businesses can benefit?
When I call Michelle picks up the phone, and when I email, she responds in a timely manner. A few years ago, I talked to my accountant about shopping around looking for a different bank just to get some alternatives, and he said, absolutely not. You're not going to like working for a big bank. They have a lot more regulations. So that's how we got involved with Cornerstone Bank. When Horicon purchased Cornerstone, we came along for the ride, and it's been great.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win. And how many games? 6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Brian, I'm texting you a photo right now. It's of John Mercure, and our listeners can also see it if they text watch to 855-616-1620. Watch. That's our Setting Unlimited Talk and text line. That's John in Hilton Head, South Carolina, and he does
incredible.
Not, if you zoom in on his face, he does not look happy.
John had to go way south to find the snow. Crazy.
Yeah, he's.
I just saw a tweet by him too. Same thing. Just saying 4.5 inches of snow he has at his house. Just crazy. I mean, to think that, we have nowhere near that amount here in Milwaukee, but down in Hilton Head, that's what he finds.
Yeah,
or even Marshfield, where, central Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin would like to have that 4 or 5 inches of snow.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. That's a really, really good point. I mean, it's by no means unheard of for us to get like a little bit of a snow drought here in Milwaukee, but northern Wisconsin, much of northern and central Wisconsin is going on almost 2 full years now of not enough snow to open the snowmobile trails, not enough snow to have their local economy get a boost from tourism. It stinks for them. While a lot of us would prefer not to have to drive through snow, a lot of people do depend on it.
Well, and there was a whole lot of people in this entire swath in the southern part of the country, Brian, who did not go to New Orleans, South Carolina, Miami to get this kind of winter weather.
No, and they do tend to get their, little brushes of winter. An inch of snow here, a little ice, freezing temperatures. But to have a swath of snow that pretty much hugged the entire Gulf Coast line, all the way from Houston to New Orleans to northern Florida, and now North and South Carolina, is crazy. I mean, there's a swath of 6+ inches of snow through all of those states. It would be a major winter storm for us, and it is a historic storm for them.
When do you think it's going to melt for them?
Depends on where you are. Now, even though today in New Orleans, temperatures highs were in the 30s, and all the snow didn't melt, hence the Bucks game not going on this evening.
I know.
I know, crazy. So, but the sun is out, and the sun is still rather potent down there, so it will do its job, and I would imagine life will resume as normal here in the next day or so.
All right.
I was just going to say, it's just mind-blowing that these southern cities are getting a true dumping, not just like the 2 or 3 inches where, we're just going to skid out. And I was remembering, I lived in Atlanta in the 90s, and there was one Friday night, and it was a fluke, but 13 inches of snow fell.
Oh, my
God. Yeah, crazy.
And the I-75 was shut down, and Prince was in town, and he was snowed in his hotel. And I was like, I would walk there if I could get there. It's like there were all these stories of being snowed in and stuck.
Yeah, that's incredible. And now Atlanta, yes, far south, but this is even like a much more unique scenario of like these, Gulf coastal towns that are seeing significant snowfall. There was a time I was looking at the radar yesterday, and I could see the rain snow line went at least like 50 miles out to sea. So it was literally snowing over ocean water that's 70 degrees. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty wild to think of.
You know what's so painful about maybe just this week is that, we're seeing all the snow and everything and accumulation, precipitation, and there's none of that happening in the LA area. And now I just saw on cable news there's another huge fire, Brian.
Yeah, I'm going to look up at the latest on that. It just actually, just started, seems like a couple hours ago, or at least started getting the reports on it. So hopefully that doesn't work its way into, heavily populated areas again. But they're dealing with Santa Ana winds again, which is hopefully doesn't get to the level of where we were a couple weeks ago. Hopefully the winds stay, not as strong that they can't attack these fires by air, because that was obviously one of the huge problems with what happened a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I mean, they're not done yet dealing with that out in California, and we're just dealing with some cold. So I guess it could always be worse, right?
Yes, absolutely. I just got your push notification. It says Brian Niznansky's storm team forecast. And you're saying light snow continues tonight. So take us home, Brian. Give us our 5-day.
Yeah, look at this. I can multitask. I can talk about snow here and then tweet out, text out a pillow. You know what I mean? No, I got people for that. No,
work is never boring.
Yeah, no. All right, so we do have light snow. That actually I think is going to pick up a little bit this evening. So if you haven't seen much snow yet, there's a chance you end up with an inch of snow with this. Enough to make things slippery tonight, especially because our ground is cold as an ice cube. So should diminish by midnight, low temperature 14. Tomorrow, still pretty cold, a high of 20. Wind chills in the morning and the evening below zero again. For Friday, increasing clouds, a high of only 18. Saturday, mostly sunny, 34. Sunday, mostly sunny, and a high of 27 degrees. So we get a brief thaw on Saturday. Enjoy.
He is Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky with TMJ4 News. Check him out at 6 o'clock. Brian, thank you.
All right, we'll see you guys.
All right, it's 5:43 on WTMJ. We're going to get a check of your traffic with Debbie Loziga. There's a lot still going on the roads. And then we're going to talk to a New Orleans correspondent. What is going on in the Baton Rouge area where he's at? The Bucks are stuck in New Orleans. The game's canceled. What could happen tomorrow? He gives us perspective of what people who live there every day in Louisiana are dealing with. It's 5:43 on WTMJ.
Sun, 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 fun, fun, fun. Sun, 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 every kind of boat under the sun.
That boat show music is back, and so is Wisconsin's largest boat show. Everything from family runabouts, ski and surf boats, fishing boats, luxury pontoons, and more Great Lakes cruisers and motor yachts. Get that boat and get that deal. Shop for skis, boards, and tubes at the Tubers Truckload Sale. Check MilwaukeeBoatShow.com. January 17 through 26, State Fair Park. Closed Monday and Tuesday.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
John Mercure here for the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. An estimated 1 million Americans live with Parkinson's disease. With 90,000 new cases each year, Parkinson's is a progressive brain disease that affects movement and can also impact mood, memory, and sleep. Dr. Ryan Brennan, a neurologist with the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, shares how their team provides personalized care. Hear it along with all of our past everyday health discussions by clicking the drop-down menu at WTMJ.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Elizabeth and John bought their starter home 8 years ago, BC, as in before children. Now, with 2 elementary school-age kids, they wanted to make a move to the suburbs for a bigger home with more yard. But they didn't know if or how they could buy their next home without selling their current one. Fortunately, a friend who was a multi-time AccuNet client connected them with us, and we soon determined they could, in fact, afford to buy without selling first, which was a big relief to them and their real estate agent. Armed with an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval, it still took several weeks to find the right home for the next chapter in their life. But I'm happy to report that Elizabeth, John, and their boys opened their presents on Christmas morning in their new home after closing just a few days before. Whether you're buying your first home or your next home, go with the pros who have all the tools and know-how to make your home buying experience as smooth and successful as humanly possible. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Lynch McWanago. The place you want to go. Lynch McWanago.
Chevrolets, Fords, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Rams. All in one location. The place you want to go. Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
sports on WTMJ. Let's get you ready to safely with Debbie Lozga. Deb, are the roads better?
Well, they're starting to get better, yeah. Still have some delays along southbound 41 from just before Hampton down past Capitol Drive. We've also got eastbound 94, a couple pockets of heavy traffic between Highway F and Barker Road, and then back on the brakes again from 84th Street through the Stadium interchange to 35th. Westbound still heavy out of the Marquette. That's going to be a slow one all the way to about Hawley Road. And then we've also got some delays on northbound 43 from about Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Locust, and then southbound through the Marquette, and then back on the brakes from about Lapham down to the KK River. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
You're as cold as ice.
Your Milwaukee Bucks were supposed to be playing 45 minutes from now, but it's not happening. They're snowed in. They're affected by the historic snowfall in Louisiana. They are stuck in New Orleans. Their games against the Pelicans tonight is not happening. They're going to have to reschedule. And they're supposed to play the Heat tomorrow night at home. So what's going on right now in Louisiana? They don't have the infrastructure like us. They're fighting over who can even get a snow plow that they're borrowing. All-weather tires are not a thing in the South. What is going on? The weather status. Jeremy Porcine is a program director with News Talk 99.5 in New Orleans and fills us in.
People from, Milwaukee or other parts that see this regularly, like, well, what's the big deal?
Mm-hmm.
It's just we have no knowledge of this unless we've lived there. We're just not used to it. Like you said, we have no snow tires. There's been a great meme online about people putting Mardi Gras beads on their tires for snow chains. It's funny, but that's about the closest thing we would even attempt to have, and we know that's not going to work. That's why, I'll be honest, I was a little surprised to see that the game hadn't been postponed until just a little while ago.
Our Milwaukee Bucks got there a day early just to be ready. When do you think the flights in New Orleans are going to get back to normal?
Well, I do know that the airport itself has been trying to get conditions back to normal, but everybody's kind of fighting for the same group of plows that came down to kind of help out with this.
Oh.
But even if the airport can get into a position where they're able to be open, that's going to be up to the airlines. And I was actually looking at the New Orleans airport's website earlier, and a lot of airlines have already canceled flights for today, and I think even maybe tomorrow as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's really going to be on an hour-by-hour basis. I know the airport would love to get operations back up and running as soon as they can, but the airlines are going to be the one who are going to make that ultimate decision. And you have to think how, I don't know how much of an impact this has had on other airports around the region, but Milwaukee, they probably flew in, which airline would they have they flew themselves in, I'm sure.
Yes, the Bucks use private charter planes.
So, and maybe because if it's a private, maybe they can get the conditions in such a place where they can get a flight out, but then it's a question of where are they staying and can they get to the airport safely?
Exactly.
So there's all these other factors that come into play, because if they stayed in the New Orleans area, there'll be plenty of bridges that they would have to take if they use the interstate. And even if they tried to go down something like, say, Airline Highway, which is Highway 61, US Highway 61, it's got to be clear enough to safely transport all those players. They could be stuck. It may be more than one game postponed out of this event. Yesterday, everybody was having fun. It's snowfall at amounts that, are historic for us. I was just looking at some of the unofficial reports from the National Weather Service. Some areas got up to 11 inches, and officially at the New Orleans airport, they saw 8 inches of snow.
Wow.
That's an amount we just never see here. So yesterday was the fun day.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're dealing with the after effect of that, which is we've got roads are iced over. We don't have the experience, and a lot of us just don't have the vehicles that can handle driving in those situations. Because of that, unless those teams spent the night at the Smoothie King Center, getting them to the arena to play a game is going to be extremely challenging, because there are many roads that are going to have ice. And around here, we have a ton of bridges. There's only so much. They tried salting, they tried de-icing, but we just don't have those kind of supplies, nor do we necessarily have the resources and infrastructure like snowplows, etc., to keep all those things cleared. What would probably not be a major inconvenience in other areas, something like this just becomes a little overwhelming for our area.
Oh, no, I completely understand. You guys didn't have a major snow for maybe 15 years.
I think it just goes to show areas are prepared for what they know. If a hurricane was approaching, we know what needs to be done and we understand what to do afterwards in terms of, whether or not it's safe to travel and things of that nature. People just aren't used to it. We're up in Baton Rouge. All of us are dealing with very impressive cold too. That's kind of the bigger thing too. Snow is one thing. These are temperatures. I woke up this morning here in Baton Rouge and it was about 9 degrees. Not something we see very often, but we're not going to get a lot of it. There's been some agencies saying we're going to be closed again tomorrow. Some schools are going to be remote learning tomorrow. That was kind of the thing we heard from a lot of meteorologists up to this point was be prepared to shelter in place for a few days, just because we're not going to have that warm enough temperatures to melt some of this stuff, get some of this ice and melt it away and have it be gone. I have a little dog. And it's been fun trying to figure out how to walk her in this because we don't want her to be. We've got plenty of bundled things, but we don't want to keep her on this icy ground for very long.
When you figure that out, let me know because my dog still does not have any booties. He's never missed one winter his entire life.
I was about to say, for the first time in my life, I shoveled snow to try to clear a spot for my dog to use the restroom. It didn't work out very well, but the ice that's in our complex, there's so much ice just out there. Like we couldn't get out of our apartment complex if we wanted to. And then after that, and then how much more ice is on any of the major roadways. Expand that to across Louisiana right now.
Wow. You just have to wait for it to melt. It will get better.
No, we're trying to get too stir crazy.
That was Jeremy Porcine, program director with News Talk 99.5 in New Orleans. He had some really good perspective. We also had with us earlier in the newscast, we were talking to Justin Garcia, the Bucs radio analyst.
He's good. He's really good. He's great. I would say he's good, but he's great. He really had some insights on this, what this snow delay means for the Bucs team.
Yeah, you were talking about how you were really interested about the practices, what's being affected.
Yeah, they haven't been able to. They got there early on Monday, so they would be prepared for the game, but they've been snowed in the hotel.
I know.
And couldn't get to. They were going to go to a practice facility at Tulane University. Couldn't get there, so I'm sure they're in a workout room, but that's not the same.
A hotel workout room?
Yeah, exactly. But the gym. So I don't know if they're running up and down the halls, but so that's certainly affecting them because when they're flying back here to hopefully play tomorrow night, they still haven't really practiced because they're going to go from a hotel to a plane.
Exactly. Do you know how many photos they're probably taking in that hotel, like Giannis?
How much video are they watching? So I thought that was a very interesting perspective that Justin Garcia brought up. And in addition to now moving this game and potentially the Miami Heat game, adding those two games, where do you add those? And that they already have a pretty rigorous schedule for the rest of the regular season.
Yeah. So what do we have that's going to replace our Bucs?
Oh, this is genius. You get to hear Bob Uecker. You get to hear CC Sabathia, who's about to go into the Baseball Hall of Fame tonight. Instead of the Bucs, our WTMG team has scrambled and put together a Bucs classic game, an iconic one, rebroadcasting the CC Sabathia game. CC threw a complete game, which you don't get anymore, a complete game to send the Brewers to the playoffs in 2008. Brewers beat the Cubs. CC was just named to the MLB Hall of Fame, and Uecker is on the call. That's going to start in just minutes here.
Could it get any better than that?
Yeah, and especially on a cold night. This is going to sound good.
I know. That's incredible. And there's also a Uecker documentary. We replayed that. So if you want to text TAP, T-A-P, you can check out Sandy's podcast and listen to that. Super cool. It's 5:55 on WTMJ. I hope you're safe, warm, and have a wonderful day. Talk to you tomorrow.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business